What up? What up? Mic all situated? Yep, sounds good. How's everyone doing? See a couple in the chat already. Talking they talk. You know, fans are doing it too. You know, there's those fans out there. I already know who. But yeah, they this is how it goes. Let's see, pull up here. Let me guess what Disney had again. Oh, for the Gina thing, yeah. Woke Disney at it again. No, they support what today's Tuesday? Yeah, today's Tuesday. Beginning of the week. Or second day of the week. It's the beginning of the week. Tomorrow is the midday of the week. Let me guess. Woke Disney at it again. Yeah. Disney's too woke, man. Disney's the only woke I'm not trying to defend Disney, but like, yeah, Disney's the only woke corporation out there. That's for sure. Let's see here. Longfellow Weeds, what's up? Poor June finally understands. She finally understands freedom of speech. Poor June, she finally understands freedom of speech. Oh yeah, because she said what she said multiple times, and people are super weird, man. It's super weird because everything is political for sure, right? Everyone has political stances or just their beliefs, and those tend to just bleed into like political sides for sure. But then like the freedom of speech one's a weird one for it's indoctrination at its finest. But then like people just take that like at face value. Like they can say what they want whenever they want. And people conflate freedom of speech without like people conflate freedom of speech with freedom of consequences too. It's weird. People think they can say what they want, right? But then like they think they can say what they want, and then like if someone gets upset or there's repercussion or there's like an action or reaction to what they say, they think it's invalid because freedom of speech is on their side because we live in America. And it's like that's not how that works for sure. If you have the brain rot and if you're truly indoctrinated, and like yes, I understand why you come to that conclusion, like for sure. But like people just like, think freedom of speech equals I can say what I want, whatever I want, and no one can get upset, or there should be like nothing. There should be no punishment if I say something truly harsh or truly like, like I don't want to say buzz with like bigot or racist or like truly harmful, But like people don't think of it that way. It's super weird. Deadpool trailer leaked though. Yeah, Deadpool trailer. I think like the transcripts of it like are leaked online. I don't know if it's true or not. I seen it the other day or yesterday. It's going through its dub stations. Its dub stations right now. Wait, there was like a line here on it. Okay, that was weird in my reflection. But oh yeah, the Deadpool trailer. Yeah, I can just pull it up. I think it's on Reddit or something like that. I have to try to find it. But it was like a transcript of like what was happening in the trailer. And so like we'll see if that was true or not. I remember like bits and pieces or I remember like a good chunk of like what it was, it was stouting or saying. But yeah. Check it out on Live Leaks. The trailer. Live Leaks. Is that still a thing? Live Leaks? Well, some ISIS videos or something. Yeah. Let's go ahead and pull up some games here. Let me fix the setting. Okay. Let me see. Let's take that off. All right. So let me see if Palworld's working. I was able to start like a new like island and start from there. My old island, I was like level like 22 to 23. I just got past like that. We can like unlock the guns, we can forge them and stuff. And then I don't know, it's probably corrupted or something. I don't know. It's weird. It's every time I try to open my Epstein island, Okay, 22, yeah. It just crashes right away. And so before I went live, the Xbox app updated, so hopefully that changes it. But I don't feel like starting all over, to be honest. I really don't feel like starting over. And to be honest, that kind of takes away from the fun because I really enjoy Power World. It's a really fun game, but I don't want to start over from. I do not want to start over from 0 to 22, and it's not like a big jump. But then, like, I wasn't playing it that much as like people were playing online, or speedrunning it. And also too, like, I don't use glitches and like I just play the game how it's supposed to be played. And that's how I usually play games for the most part. But yeah, I just don't want to grind again. That's not what I want to do. I don't want to do that. I'm sorry. But yeah, I was gonna play Power World. But maybe that's a good thing. Maybe I can start over, in front of y'all. Um and yeah, let's see. I'll probably play for a little bit. So yeah, I do not want to start over again. I'm hella mad too because I was just roaming. I was just searching. I went to like the volcano area. I went to like the ice area and like the Pokemon, the pals there were like level like 20 to 30. I've seen some that like low 40s too. And I tried catching a couple of them. They're just super strong, obviously. But like, man, I do not want to start over. I just honestly don't. But maybe I can apply my skills that I've acquired over time. Oh, what happened here? Oops. Okay, yeah. Okay, so I just started. All right, my boy's hungry and cold. See, I didn't even craft anything. That's the thing. I just did all this and okay, wood and stone. I gotta do this before I die. Yeah, torch. Can't see anything on the ground. My dude's gonna die. Oh no, I have time. Okay, there's wood. I need wood and stone. Why does it be nighttime right now? That's just there is no. Okay, no. Almost fell. Okay, hold on. I know there's stone up here. Like where? It's up there. Okay. Let me just climb up. Oh no, is some right here? No. Alright.
Yeah.
Alright, 1 second. Okay. Alright, so there's stone around here. I didn't remember that. This is this, yeah. But I don't know how much stone I need. So maybe they can help us out and give us some materials. Give us wood. Okay, no stone though, but there's one over here. Because this is like where I put my base last time, like in this area right here. Oh, this one right there. My last base was like this in this area right here, and I made another one near like the ore mining spot I found randomly. But let me see if this is enough. Oh, there we go, some stuff right there. Let's punch some rocks. Training here. Okay, hopefully that's enough. This thing is right here. Okay, let's craft. Let's do this. Ooh, We'll get warm. We can hold this in our inventory. And yeah. Oh wait, I didn't grab it. There we go. Okay, so we're not cold. Now we gotta find some food. There's some food over here. Attack pals to weaken them, then press RB. Oh, excuse me. But I don't. I have to go find some more stuff though. I need like the fragments and everything. Like the hiccups. Okay, so where are the berries at? I just gotta punch a pal to death so I can get their meat or whatever. Or eat their flesh. Maybe hopefully there's something in here, like some food. And this one. Oh, and there one megasphere. So we could probably catch something real quick. Let's grab this. Get some. Okay, I can do this right now. Let's go with this. Is our stamina because stamina goes by 10. The health goes by 50 or something like that. So it's the weight. And so let's just get stamina up. Oh, I'm about to die. We're about to die. No, we're dead. We're dead. We're dead. We'll just get closer to the respawn point, and then we'll find food. There's no berries right here or something. There's some right there. Okay, I see some berries. All right, hopefully we can make it in time. Okay, so we can't fight. Run takes. We have 1 HP. Where they at? Where they at? Okay, right here. All right. Okay. All right. So we got some. We're getting some berries here. Just farm some more here. You can't fight. We're gonna take some damage and we'll respawn. Okay, there's Pal Sphere right there. Okay, I got plenty of. Okay, we're just farming right now. Just get some spheres going. Okay, I'll grab this here. And then I'm gonna grab the stone. That should be enough to get the pals, to be honest. And let's do this one more time. I can grab some spheres. I have found one regular and one mega. I could probably make like, I could probably make like 2 or 3 from this. Okay, so that's that. We can probably climb this. All right. Oh, what up, Legion? What's up, man? 1 second, man. Let me pull it up. What do you say? What did fans do this time? Oh, you know exactly what fans are doing, man. I think you know what fans are doing, man. But yeah, I think I can go up here. I think I can make it. Wait, no. Let's reset. Full stamina bar. Let's go. Let's try this again. Okay, that should be enough. I think that should be enough to make it up there. All right, so let's hit this one more time. Right here. We have an unused stat. I thought I already did that one. Oh, another one. Okay. Let's go ahead and use it on health. Let's do that. Use it on health. Okay. Oh, let me see real quick. All right, man. I love how like certain fans and like certain people who like push this narrative like just, you know, I love how certain fans and certain these people who cover like news or whatever, like they don't see what they're doing. And so like, come on, man, you know what the fans are talking about. It's in the thumbnail. Come on now. Okay, let's go and craft some spears. Some spheres. Wait, okay, there it goes. So I can do 3. I can do 5. Let's go ahead and do 5. Wait, why isn't it working? Wait, that's super weird. Why is it doing that? Was that why? Okay, there it goes. Yep. All right, that was weird. I don't know why I did that. It wasn't on the thing. Okay, maybe I was clicking on the StreamYard page. That's why it wasn't. Because I do play on my controller, on my Xbox controller. I can play on my, you know, mouse, you know, whatever it is. I do it sometimes, but I like playing my controller. Okay, so I can catch more pals. Okay, attack pals so we can. Okay, let's try and go to the tutorial though. Legion. If it was all CGC, I'd put CGC on the thumbnail, man. To be honest, and so like I said, it's on the thumbnail. I think you already know what I'm talking about here. It's a recurring thing with fans being super toxic, man, and supporting certain people that don't need supporting, and that's just how it is, man. But hey, I'm not surprised at some people's answers. I put it that way. And CGC, yeah, CGC, that's a scandal too. That's a big scandal. But like honestly, talking about CGC and like grading stuff. So there's a card shop. Let me pause real quick. There's a card shop that just opened up last year near me, and they're taking like PSA. This is for cards, by the way, but CGC does cards as well. Recent, like the last 2 years, right? But PSA, they have like a drop-off spot at this card shop that has recently opened up. And to be honest, I don't really feel comfortable with like dropping my stuff off to get graded. It's in general. I get super paranoid. I don't like it. I'm very tangible with my stuff. Like if I send it out to get graded, like I did with my comics before, it just irks me, man. But like the CGC thing, it's super. It, it's just unfortunate. It just really is because I think that whole thing with CGC happens to every single one of these grading companies. So like I don't know, man. Like CGC's, they are that for sure. But then like I think that was for PSA. I think that for CBCS. I think that for PGX, if that counts. Beckett is like the only like true like white knight, I think, but they only do like cards and stuff. But like CGC was that for comic books, but like I never liked sending my stuff to get graded. So like it's just one of those weird things. I'm debating of sending my Charizards out for PSA to get graded, but like I honestly do not like sending my stuff out, man. I like keeping myself close to the vest. If I can go like to a con and like, so here's the thing: the place near me that's going to do like the PSA drop offs, PSA is going to be there. They're going to do your information, so it's not like a third party. It's like a third party location, but like I still it's PSA handling your order, but like I still that's a little more safer to me, you know. But like it's just, man, I get super paranoid. I don't like that kind of. I can't do it. You know, I can't do it. People can do that stuff with their, and then I guess the thing like it does help protect your stuff, but man, it's just too much for me. It's just too much for me. I just saw and hit it. Oh, let's see. Wait, did I miss something? Oh, okay, thumbnail. Okay. So the Gina thing, yeah, that's crazy. Split in parts, and she became after her firing. Well, it's all her fault, man. Like, put it this way: if you're someone who's like on the side of Gina and like she got done wrong, you're missing the mark. Not just you. I'm not saying you specifically. But it's like someone who supports her and someone who thinks like she got done wrong, like she got done wrongly. That's such baloney, man. It's ridiculous because like she had every opportunity to like not change, but like to like not change, but like to correct her shitty behavior. And so like she didn't do that. She ran to the opposite team and look what it turned out for her, man. So it's like if you don't like what Disney did, which is it is cringe. Firing people for their post is cringe, but like what's the cringe about? What's the post about? What do they say? This freedom of speech thing people love to post out. And what do they say? And your stuff has repercussions. I'm sorry, man. Like you can believe in freedom of speech all you want, but then like freedom of speech doesn't mean you can really Okay, am I back? All right, that was super weird. Shit, that's cut off. All right. Sorry about that, bruh. What was I saying? No, what was I saying before that? I can't remember. Hope you're still here though. Um, where'd it go? Where'd it go? One second, man. Okay, that one's fine. My other computer's good. Okay. Oh, okay, there we go. This was up last. Okay, so it's Gene thing. Yeah, it's crazy. Ho. Yeah, it's crazy. Ho split. I don't know how I get you, man. Yeah. Let's see here. Same with Elon. Everyone loved him till plain side silencing folks. Till he wait. Same with Elon. Everyone loved him until he said he wouldn't be playing sides. He always played sides though. Like Tesla, like literally got popular because he was using the liberal blue side, like for his Tesla stuff, for like the climate change BS stuff that people, his current fan base now, the side he's placating to now, they don't believe in that, right? Or for the most part, the super online people don't believe that, and so like the whole like Tesla coming to fruition during like 2000 like 2010s, like he used the Democrats for that, and like that's how he got a lot of funding. That's how the stock went up. Blah 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 blah. Like he does play both sides, but then like there's people like who were like stouting, like saying like he was like touting free speech. That's why he bought Twitter. It was just super for real, man. Like I like Elon. I feel like before I get into it, like I like Elon. I think Elon's funny. I love the memes. Blah 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 blah. But like he's just like he is what he is, right? He's just placating to an audience to grow his fan base. That's just how it goes, right? But like the people who like who knight for him are super weird. Like I'm saying, like the whole free speech thing when he was buying Twitter, people were literally touting him as like a hero for buying Twitter to say free speech. So like, how are you touting someone who's not American for one? He's not American. He's South African, right? He's not from America. How you gonna tell someone who's not American for for buying a private company, a social media company? It's not private, but a social media company where they do have their own private laws and their own thing. Like, how was that like fighting free speech? Like it's super weird. Like people are super finicky as well. For clarity, what did she say wrong or French to get fired? I mean, are you like, is that like a bait question or do you just genuinely know? Because I think you know as well. 'Cause I'm pretty sure you talked about it before, like a long time ago. But like she compared being a Republican to like being a Nazi. I'm pretty sure. I can look it up like bar for bar if you want me to, but like that's what she said. And so is it silly for firing people for what they say? Yeah, I think it's silly doing that. It is cringe. But like if you work for a company and you have to like tote this line, right? It's through any company. How big is the company is, like how big the company is how small the gray area is, right? And so if you're working for a big corporation, that gray is definitely thin, to say the least, right? And so if you say something controversial, say something that's inaccurate too. And what she said, I disagree with. Like, it's nonsense. Defending your political party and like saying, oh, it's like being a Nazi, like just off the rip, that's nonsense and it's silly. And so, like, anything from that point, like you're trying to justify from that point, trying to justify what you said. Like, come on, like it's super silly, man. I hope you're still hearing me, Legion. I know my screen just cut off. I do not know why. My computer was still running. So like it does that sometimes. Like the screen would just cut off. The tower's still going there and everything. But yeah, let me see here. But what do you think she said though? If you're still here, Legion, what do you think she said? Because like that's the thing. Like I would like to know what other people think of the situation. Like everything that's happening to her is her fault. Like it just is. Like if you want to get back, um, like Oh, just got back what I missed. Oh yeah. So my screen cut out when I was like, I forgot what I was talking about before, like it got cut off, you know. But then I kind of got back into it. I saw your last notifications. Yeah, it cut on me too. Goddamn Disney, right? Hi, current Let me see here. Where was I? Where was I? I was talking about the CGZ thing, and then I started talking about the Gina thing. So this is the Gina thing. Oh, I was right here when it cut out. So the Gina thing, yeah, it's crazy. But basically, man, it's all her fault, man. Like you can people love to hate on Disney right now because they're a bunch of fucking weirdos, you know, like they just love to like tout this whole political thing. And part of it is Disney's fault, you know, like they are an open supporting company for a certain cut of people. They just are. But like I don't think the people they tout to, I don't think there's nothing wrong with that. You know, like it's just weird how people are and how they take a stance to make it political, blah 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 blah. And it's just like I said, Disney has made it political themselves. So like part of their stuff is on them, but then like why are people so up in arms about it? You know what I'm saying? Like there's so much other stuff to be mad about a corporation about. Why is this the thing you're mad about? You know what I'm saying? It's just super weird how people are. But same with Elon. Oh, I didn't talk about Elon too. Same with Elon. Everyone loved him until, but Elon was like, people were touting Elon as like this free speech warrior for some reason when he was acquiring Twitter, when he was forced to buy Twitter because he didn't want to buy Twitter. He was forced to because he said he would. But then, like, even all that, man, like, I do like Elon. I like Elon for the memes. I like laughing. Same reason why I like, you know, certain other people who are controversial, right? Because there's reason why they're polarizing. But then if you can just take that back, take out your biases, right? And then okay, is this person what is this person? What they do and all that kind of stuff, you know? And then like the whole basic assessing of a person. But like what they say and what they do with support and what they push is super cringe. And you can't say Elon is super cringe. No, he's literally like he's literally tailgating to a certain demographic of people, and they're mostly like online lunatics for the most part, you know. And I still like Elon, but like he's just playing the game. Like he's building his online fan base more and more and more. He's gonna defend everything he says, and it's just like, come on, man. For clarity, what did she say to get fired? She says she compared like some Nazi stuff to like being a Republican, which is stupid in itself, man. That's super cringe already. Like, I think that's enough to get someone like canned in any other. Like, if you said to your boss and like if you're bussing tables, that's different, right? But like, I don't know if you have any type of leverage of a decent position at a company, then like, yeah, you might something might happen to you. It's just how it is. And people do conflate freedom of speech with like freedom of consequences. And people just it's just super weird, man, how people are. And seeing people how they act online, that's why I do keep to myself for the most part. Because no matter how much I do enjoy like, you know, being around with people, you know, sharing similarities. People at the end of the day are people and they do ruin things. Let me see. Okay, there we go. That's up there now. Hopefully that's playing. Okay, there it goes. Yeah. My computer was still running, but just my screen cut off. Just got yeah. So we just got on that. I'm very certain that she said that wait, well, I'm fairly certain she said that the divide between us and fighting is comparable to them fighting in Germany when population started. But she said the word Nazi and Republican Party. So I think you forgot that part in there, but like I get what she was trying to say. Like, I'm not saying what she was saying is like incorrect. I'm not trying to say I'm just saying I understand like her context. I get what she was trying to say. I get what she was like saying the divide, blah, blah, blah. Like that was all during the time when like people were being super political. And she did compare being a Republican to being a Nazi thing. And like that's cringe, man. Like I don't know why people are defending that. Like that's wrong. It is just incorrect. So like whatever, man. And since she has like touted herself as a Republican, and it's nothing wrong being a Republican, right? But like if she has touted herself being a Republican, but then like she goes out and like says something that's like very sensitive for one, and very like disingenuous too, and like and it does hurt a certain demographic no matter what she says, then like how are you like trying to like say like she not you specifically, but like anyone trying to defend her? Like how is anyone trying to defend her say like she was done wrong, done dirty? Because like she wasn't. She got what she deserved. Like I said, if being fired is cringe for saying stuff, but like I get it. But like what she said was the trash. And she had several opportunities to take it back. Or not even take it back, like I guess redeem or clarify. I don't know, like the big word for that. But yeah, before the Holocaust. Yeah, I got what you're saying. Guess though guess while the stance of Gina is due to the fact Twitter was proven to be censoring to a massive degree, her opinions are not fringe. They're held by millions and millions of people. They are fringe. And it doesn't matter if people this is what I understand too. So like people's guess while the stance of Gina is due to the fact that Twitter was proven to be censoring massive degree. Yeah, I agree with that. Opinions are not fringe. They are fringe. They're held by millions of people. So if millions of people believe that the Holocaust didn't happen, does that justify someone saying that? No. Just because someone believes something doesn't mean it's true. And plus, and it's another thing too, man. Like if she wants to tout herself as like a Republican, just because you believe something doesn't mean it's true, right? Facts over feelings, right? Like it's super cringe how people like come out and like try like not saying you're doing this for here, but like I've heard the same rhetoric before from like various people online, like talking about this thing. And this is like, shut up, man. Not you, but like I just don't get it, man. I just don't get it. Big facts. Okay, sorry. That was the second one. Um no, her tweets were that, man. Like I literally seen it like the day before, like a couple of days ago. Again, because like for some reason, like how algorithms go. Before something breaks, there's always something else. Like there's always like a pre-way to something. And that's how the internet works. And so hold on. Okay, let me see here. Tweets. We have Elon here just like baiting her on, and he's paying her fan base. Like, here's the thing, man. Like, if you think what she's like, if anyone thinks what she said was like justified because millions and millions hold the same thought process, whatever. But like, if you think that, you're free to think that. But then if you see Elon jumping in and like you said the whole thing about him, like play came to the audience, and like you can understand the game being played, and it's played by both sides, man. It is, and so like I don't understand like people like trying to like defend her or whatever it is, and it's super weird, man. Like she's polarizing for like she's polarizing for like a dumb thing she said. She's not polarized for like her talent, and that should be like the clear indication that, like this person here has no means, like or it has nothing to stand on for the most part, because there's a bunch of other like celebrities, people who are famous who say things as well, and they are cringe, and I can laugh at them. I can say I disagree, but at least those people have more stand because I'm not saying they've done more, but then like at least they have more to stand on, if that makes sense. That was 2 years, I don't know, 3 years ago, February. Like that's the thing too. Like she's suing them to like reprise her role in the Malorance, which is not going to happen, man. It's just so stupid. This whole thing is stupid. People talking about it is stupid, myself included. But like I just did to poke fun at people and to gauge your reaction, right? And then like, let me see here. Where is the tweet at? By neighbors, even by children, her post stated. And here's the thing too, man. Like, okay, I have it right here. Even what she says or what she's saying too, it applies to like the demographic here. Let me pull this out here. I'll pull it out. Where'd it go? Where'd it go? Where'd it go? Okay, let me pull this down here. Wait, why is this? Okay, that's why. All right. Share screen, entire screen. Share. I don't know why it's still up. I want to quit this. There we go. That's like small and it's super bright too. Let me zoom in as much as I can. If this isn't like edited, but I'm pretty sure it's the same thing here. And plus, it doesn't have to do with things like the COVID vaccine too. So it's like yeah, it's all cringe, man. Like people still deny that. People still talk bad about the vaccine and stuff, and it's like it all stems from the bullshit ass time that was COVID. People, taking their stances and being, whatever it is because they want to. This is her tweet. Jews were beaten in the streets not by Nazi soldiers, but by their neighbors, even by children, because history is edited, which is true. I agree with that. Most people today don't realize that to get to the point where Nazi soldiers could easily round up. One second. Okay. It says because history is edited, most people today don't realize that to get to the point where Nazi soldiers could easily round up thousands of Jews, the government first made their own neighborhood hate them simply for being Jews. How is that any different from hating someone for their political views? She's comparing her political viewpoint in general to being a Nazi. Like that's what she's saying. Like this because someone didn't say like, "Oh, I hate black people," and they give you stats of like black people. Here's the thing, man. Like this whole like rhetoric here, it's all like white talk, not like white people talk, but it's all like gray white talk. It's like saying something without saying something. It's all this is. People love to hide, love to hide behind technicalities. Love to hide behind like, oh, I didn't say this specifically, but you were indicating this, and you were saying this, and this is what this means. Like you're comparing your side of being your political belief. I'm assuming it's Republican because why would you say this if you're like a Democrat? Um, but then and especially like during the turmoil this was released at too. So like this is stating her political belief is comparable to people being killed, burnt, round up in Nazi Germany, like by Nazis in Germany. So it's like that's not toxic, that's not incorrect. That's what is this? This is something you want to tout. This is something you want to, this is something you want to like back up. Like, come on, like this is idiotic, man. Like if my kid said this, I would sit him down and like, yo, dude, I get what you're trying to say here, but like maybe don't compare it to something so polarizing that's actually happened and some people actually, don't believe in. So like, I don't know. There it is. There's the tweet, man. I don't know how anyone can like take that out of context more than like what she was trying to say. She even posted a picture in black and white. I'm assuming maybe from I don't know World War II. And so like again, people are like people are confusing freedom of speech with freedom of consequences. You can say what you want, but there's also consequences to your actions, right? And so, like, you can call someone an N word. Sure, go right ahead. I believe white people should say the N word personally, but like, you can say the N word to a black person, but like, it's that someone like does something, in retaliation for a hate crime you just committed. What you can't call someone an N word or something for brown people or someone else for their religious beliefs and then like play victim and say I'm just freedom of speaking here. Like, come on, like it's so silly how people are. So where's the part of the Nazi thing? Yeah, that's funny you say that. So where's the part with the Nazi? She usually says Nazi in her thing, but sure. No, that's not what she said at all, bro. She's pointing and aimed government hate. How'd you get your national wait? Did you get your wait, what? So this is not what she said? Well, yeah, hold on. Well, I'm trying to read that again. That's not what she said at all, bro. She's pointing in at AIM government hate. How did you get your national from that? How'd you get your national from that? What do you mean national? Okay, so hold on. So like so from reading this, and this is like what she said, right? This is the tweet that got her canned for the most part. So you're saying what this here has nothing to do with like being national because Nazi German, like they were national, like they're about their nation, they're about being pure, right? So like that's that too. And I don't remember if I said national, but I'm just like using that as an example. And then what was she trying to say then? Then like she was comparing an, a specific incident that's taught throughout history to being a Republican. So like what else what else you trying to say, man? Like I don't get it. Like I'm not trying to like play stupid. Like I don't understand. Like what you trying to like the point you're trying to prove. Like just being honest, man. So like I don't understand like what like the like what you're trying to like allude to, if that makes sense. Because this is what she said, right? There's Nazi in there too. So that's where I got Nazi from. How'd you get a Nazi from that? Because she used Nazi. I didn't call her a Nazi. I said she used this Nazi thing to compare to her political party. That's what I said. So, like, again, I don't know what you're trying to say here, but yeah, my phone correct away from Nazi. I don't type it often. Oh yeah, sure. You can tell me that, man. You can do what you want. um, I don't even like Gina, but I'm calling bullshit on bullshit movement. I mean, if you don't like Gina, that's fine. But then, like, why do certain people like placate her flight for like why do like some people like push like her narrative like because she's fighting Disney. That's what it is, right? And she's fighting Disney. Disney's the boogeyman, right? Because they're woke, right? And so like she's fighting the woke mob. I don't like the woke mob. Let's give her our energy. Let's give her our key. Let's give her a spirit bomb power, and she's gonna take out the woke company. Like that's like it's all part of the bullshit of you're saying. But then like people like aren't like people aren't blah 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 blah. You can't speak for other people. I mean, sure, but then like I wasn't saying you were. So, one second. Okay, my bad, my bad. I can't speak for other people. Yeah, yeah, I get that, man. Whatever. I'm just pointing out it's odd you're reading into what she said versus what she wait, what? I'm pointing out it's odd you're reading into what she said versus what she said. No, that's not what's going on. I brought what she said. I'm reading literally out loud what she said, and I'm digesting what she said. There's nothing wrong with that. Like, I don't know what you're trying to say here, man. Like, to be honest, like, whatever. Like, I'm not trying to like it. We're like online. We're not like talking face to face through camera. So I'm not trying to like taking out of context what you're trying to say. To be honest, but then like, come on, like I'm not trying to do that. You're adding your own context. Okay, man. If you think, listen, if you think someone comparing Nazi Germany to their political party is me taking some out of context or my own context, I don't have to tell you, man, to be honest, because that's not my context, man. It really isn't. That's her context. That's what she said. I'm not reading into, I'm very reading what she said, man. And if you think I'm doing something else, it's not what I'm doing. So, like, yeah. Yeah, Texas, sorry. Yes, I'm not trying to take anything you were saying out of context for sure, but like, all I'm doing is reading what she said because you wanted to know what she said, right? I brought it up for you. This is what she said. I can zoom in a little more if I need to. That's what she said. And she had every opportunity to like understand, like, okay, she had like a lot of like time to like, hey, what you said might be a little insensitive, like comparing your political belief, your feelings to an actual fact, actual happen. There's something there. Like, and to say I'm taking out of context, like, I don't know, man. I think that's pretty silly, but that's me commenting on it. If you don't mean it that way, then that's fine. The entire point of the post is on Wait. So are you speaking for her, or I'm just trying to understand. So you don't speak for anyone, right? But then, like, are you speaking for right now, or are you trying to clarify the text? So which one is it? But it's like the entire obvious, like, it's like the entire obvious context of the post is missed somehow. No, it's not missed, man. Like, I don't, I don't like, I don't get what you're trying to say, man. Like, honestly, like full front, man. Like, but there's nothing missed here. Like, I'll read it 10 more times out loud. Like, Jews were beaten in the streets not by Nazi soldiers, but by their neighbors. I'm well aware of that. I read a history book. I took history in school. I do my own, like, like, I agree. What she's saying was true. It wasn't just the people that were wearing uniforms, it was the neighbors, blah, 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 and indoctrination. And I get all that. I understand that. I get that point because history is edited. Most people today don't realize that to get to the point where Nazi soldiers could easily round up thousands of Jews, the government first made their own neighborhoods hate simply for being Jews. How is that any different from hating someone for their political views? Like, I get what you're trying to say. She's trying to say, "Oh, it's because you believe in one party, don't hate the other party." I get it, man. But like, I don't think what you're understanding or what I don't think people who are like not defend. I'm saying you're defending, but like her comparing her political beliefs to an incident in Nazi Germany that caused a world war that killed millions and millions of people. Like, that's the shady part. That's the cringe part. You can say Republicans, Democrats, you can say, oh, the LGBT people are blue and like that's I don't like them, or you're bigoted on this. I don't like you. Like, I get that part. That's all nonsense too. I get it. But like that, I think the most nonsense part of it all is her making the comparison. So I get what she's trying to say, but then like it's still wrong, if that makes sense. So you can like try to like say all that you want. Read it again, bro. Okay. Read it again, bro. Just did. No one in today's world is called a Nazi, are they? Yeah, they are. Wait. Let me read it again to make sure I didn't misread it. No one in today's world is called a Nazi, are they? Yes, they are. Nazis still exist. So, like, if specifically the Nazi party, the fascist party, we want to call them, like, there's people who still believe in that. Like, absolutely. So, like, that's who you would call a Nazi. I'm not calling her a Nazi. She brought Nazi, not me. So it's like, why are people defending that? It's so weird. Boom, she places a time in the past as a metaphor, didn't call anyone a Nazi, but the actual Nazis of history, right? Yeah, I didn't say she called anyone a Nazi. No, I didn't say she called him a Nazi. I said the whole thing is she compared the whole that thing to like being a Republican, which is super stupid and cringe for one. So it's like no one's calling that out. You know what I'm saying? Like once okay. 1 second. All right. Okay, so boom, traces the time and pace, blah blah blah. Yeah, I know there's a lag. I know. I see that, bro. Um, I don't believe in any party. Yeah, neither or oh, I do believe in the party. It's just not the one touted. I don't believe in the two-party system. That's true, and I agree with that. But I do believe in the party. Not believing in something is pretty cringe. I'm not saying like that's like my point of view, but then like it's like people who are atheists, right? Like people who are atheists is take religion like one step further. People who believe in God believe in one thing. That's one thing. People who are atheists believe what's less than one, zero. They take it that step further. I believe in nothing, right? So it's like, okay, that's fine. I get it. But like, that's still a belief. That's still believing in something, if nothing, if that makes sense, like believing in, like believing in a black hole. Like, they exist. They take everything. They suck everything up, but then like, like it's still belief, you know. Um, is it ever acceptable to bring comparisons to that part of history? Yeah, absolutely, man. But compared to your political party, it's stupid. Like that's what I don't understand. Like, not trying to take it on you, and I know the lag, right? But then, like, to be honest, man, like you've been like commenting pretty hard, right? About like trying to clarify what she said, and I understand what she's saying, and trying to point out to me like, oh, read it again, read it again. I read it again. I read it several times. I read this when it first happened, and like this time has passed since then, and I still think firing people was cringe. Like, I'm just being honest, you know, firing people for their beliefs is cringe. But then, like, if you work for a big company that has a lot of stake and they are themselves a political way, Disney is. They're a left leaning company. Like, that's why I like Disney, because like I'm left leaning. You said like I don't believe in parties. Absolutely, I don't believe in parties. But like, I do know my biases. I tell out my biases, man. Like, I try to stamp my biases right away. So like that one's like not used against me for my beliefs. But like I know my biases. As long as you state your biases, I think that's like the most fair and balanced, respectful thing you can do when talking about something. And Disney is a left-leaning company, and I don't think that's a problem. I think involving, like, and, like, placating towards, like, I don't know, gay people, I don't think that's nothing wrong with that, to be honest. Some people think that. Some people that might be woke, I think that's super cringe, man. It really is. Like, touting certain companies for placating to certain size, that is cringe, right? But then, like, if it's not hurting anyone, if it's just like, whatever it is, and these companies do this to make money. So, like, that's why I think of this too. Like, oh, they're inclusive. Okay, it's cool. I'm inclusive as well. Like to be, it's just one of those things that people are just so like standpoint about. And I don't like, I don't like, I see why people are that way. I also have certain people can like move past it because, like I was saying, man, like you were like telling me you're seeing all these things like for context, and like I didn't even read it. And I get that, man. But then, like, I stated that several times. She didn't call anyone Nazi. She's comparing her feelings to a fact. And then, like, and here's another thing too. If she wants to tout herself as a Republican, aren't Republicans facts over feelings? You know what I'm saying? Like, that's like another thing too. Like, Republicans love to they love to point out facts and stats, to prove their point. Okay, fine. I like stats. I like facts. Me, I love that kind of stuff too. But there's context to everything, right? So how are you gonna leave out context to like this kind of historical event, to say the least, and then like and compare it to your own to your belief, a factual historical event that happened, and you compare it to your belief. Isn't that silly? I think that's pretty silly. You know, I think it's flashy that she's chose that part of history. I think it's flashy. Yeah, no, no, no. And that's, to be honest, man, I think that's why, like, I say firing people is like cringe, for the police. But like, she knows she was doing. She knows she was doing, and that's why she deserved to be fired. I'm sorry, man. Like, it does. Like James Gunn, right? Like, I don't want to compare, make it like the DC thing, but like James Gunn says some cringy stuff too, right? If you would have compared his thoughts about like the pedophilia esque, because what he said was like kind of pedophilic, right? But he was making a joke. Okay, fine, whatever, man. Making a joke, I get it. I like jokes too. Ha 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 ha. But he would have like compare those jokes to, like, I don't know, in this case, not Nazi German because that's redundant, but like to something similar to this historical event here, that would be the same thing. Like he some things came out what he said. He stopped saying that thing. He corrected his behavior, and then like he came back to Marvel, and now he's at DC. So it's like he's at Warner Brothers. So it's like there's nothing wrong with like understand what you say and some incorrect. Learn your bad behavior and try to correct your behavior. There's nothing wrong with that, but people just love to placate me and blah 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 blah. Yeah, you're not debating. I think you're losing, but that's just me talking smack, But like debating, if that was you debating, man, then like, man, oh man, I don't know what to say. But no one in today's world was called a Nazi in her post. Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah, if I said that, I probably misspoke. But I was trying to say she was like Nazi rhetoric, or like a Nazi thing to like onto her own belief, and that's fucking cringe, man. Like, why aren't you like? Here's the thing, man. Like all love, man. All love, bro. Why aren't you saying that? You know what I'm saying? Like, you're trying to like tell me about like, okay, you're trying to tell me, oh, the ball, clarify, read your stuff again. And I get that. Like, always double check, triple check, read over your sources. respect. I do that a lot. But then like I have done that. I was talking about that. But then like what I was trying to say, you weren't trying like I don't feel like you were trying to listen to what I was trying to say. You know what I'm saying? Like that's the point I was trying to like make. I'm commenting on this, talking about it. What she said, what she said was cringe. That's what I'm trying to say. She's comparing something to like her own belief, and like that's lost in translation. And how come that's not being said about her post? You know what I'm saying? Like her post is cringe. Talk about that. Not you, but like people who are trying to defend her, but that's not gonna happen, right? What was the Avatar game on your screen series? Oh, yeah, on that was probably on Epic or let me see. Was it on Epic or let me see here. So right now I'm on the Xbox Game Pass. Um, but it is on the Epic Games. I've seen it all the time. I do want to play it, but like to be honest, man, like my son loves Avatar. My son's 8 years old. Like he's seen Avatar 1, 2 a couple of times. He does like it. I shouldn't say love it. Um, I don't care for Avatar, man. I think Avatar is super overrated. And I'm not trying to like throw like smack on anyone who likes it. I just think it's super overrated. It makes tons of money, yeah. That's good for James Cameron. James Cameron's best movie is Total Recall. Or not on Total Recall, True Lies. I'm sorry. True Lies. So Arnold and what's her name from but yeah, I'm calling it out. True Lies is Arnold's is James Cameron's best movie. I'm calling it right now. I love True Lies, man. True Lies is one of my favorite movies. And you bring up brown people, man. It's super American. True Lies is an American movie. Bring up brown people from the Middle East that want to do something in America. There's helicopters, guns, explosions. Arnold, man. Come on. True Lies and Terminator 2. Let's go with that. Hopefully I don't have faith in two parties in the better way. Yeah. Oh, yeah, I'm super behind too. Yeah, no, the lag. So I'm going one at a time. So that's what I was trying to like go towards the lag, man. So if I'm going slow, I'm sorry, but the lag is killing us for sure. But then like, I'm not trying to like have twisted that to the notion of lack of belief in that way of burden of proof. Um, here's the thing, man. Like I was born in a Christian household. Um, I veered from that at a young age for sure. And there was a point in time I wasn't atheist. Like, and you can still say that I'm that now, but I guess agnostic's the better term to use. But I do believe in something, like, I do believe in like something created. There's you believe in matter and science. I believe that as well. But then there's more that we don't know. Like that's what I believe. I believe that we're too dumb to know what actually happened, what's going on. That's my belief. You know what I'm saying? Like that's what I stick to. I'm not clarifying. I'm just twisting her words. I'm just not twisting her words. What do you mean like twisting? But like, that's what she said, bro. Like she like I get what you're trying to say, but like I think she twisted her own words. You know what I'm saying? Like she's comparing an historical event that's a factual historical event to her own feelings about her political party. And I'm sorry, man. If you're a Republican, if you're conservative, if you like someone who's super online and like you take this position with her and the whole like red right movement is facts over feelings, then like that whole argument is gone out the window right there. Like in a debate, like that window's out the window. Like that's all gone. Like that's your feeling. That's your feeling. Comparing Nazi Germany, turmoil for million people being killed, gas, chemical castrations, all that good stuff because they looked different than you, blah 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 blah, and are different from you to your own political belief is nonsense, man. And people still are going to defend that. And you can say anyone can say not twisting her words. That's fine. She twisted her own words. She twisted her own faith. She twisted like her own. That's her doing. Just because she didn't say it outrightly doesn't mean that's what she meant. You know what I'm saying? Like it's weird comparing her feelings. Yeah, that's her feeling. Like she's literally comparing a factual, like, an event to her political belief. Where's proof to that? Where are the conservatives? Where? What? Okay, honestly, okay, man. Here's a simple way of doing this right now. If she's comparing this to her political belief, where are the millions and millions of conservatives being killed right now? This is her comparison, right? This is what she's saying, right? This is no one twisting her words, right? If this is your post, this is what you're trying to say. Where's the number for number thing? And there isn't that. So that's the silly part. If that hasn't been clear enough. The context in the post literally stated that started the post with historical context to ask a question. I mean, historical context to still your political party is still cringe. Like I don't know, like you can add, like not saying you're doing this, but like in her posts, like if you try to like prime the audience before they read the post, try to prime around and say, hey, I'm trying to give some historical facts here. This is what happened. Now here's my feeling to the current as of then 2021, the time that she was saying that. This is a nice comparison I feel from a historical event. As feel the things are bleeding on today's world. Get the fuck out of here, man. It's so stupid. Because even if you believe that, there are actual people getting, I'm not saying murdered, because like the whole like millions and millions, like they're not gonna see that again. There's certain political factors that are doing that. You can say that in Ukraine, you can say that in Palestine and Israel. That applies. That applies more. Those two examples, the recent examples, and people can have what they want about them, but like those two recent examples apply more to what her posted than her own post does. You know what I'm saying? So because there's are people being killed, hated on by their own government, their neighbors, because that's what they're making it. And I do believe in propaganda. I do believe in, like I'm saying, I do believe like the first part, these are being ministries by the people. Yeah, they were, because that's in history. That's a historical fact. I agree with that part. But then everything else after that is her opinion. And that's her feelings. And that's what people, that's not twisting anything. That's literally what she's was saying, and that's what she's comparing it to. So like it's super weird. I don't know why. So all people who call the other side a fascist and Nazis for years and years, do they need to be fired too? Because how Disney feels? No, because I think Pedro has some stuff too, right? But then like he was comparing like stuff that happened on the border that's been happening with Trump, before Trump, after Trump, all that kind of stuff. It just Trump was the president at that time. But then like that's I don't think that's comparable, because he's not comparing it to goddamn Nazi Germany. Like I don't know, man. Like you can maybe just compare like these what if scenarios all you want. You can try to move the goalposts, like not just you, but like anyone can move the goal all they want. But then like, is that really helping us? You know what I'm saying? Is that really like pushing something forward? I don't think so. Do all people that call the other side a fascist and Nazi? But like, who else is saying that though? You want to talk about, if you want to talk like certain movements, like give me examples. Like I will love examples, because everything's like everything is the case by case scenario, right? So it's not a monolith. You can't placate one idea to everything, because everyone has something else to say differently. That's what I believe. Debate merit, that'll be fun. Drop me a link if you want to debate the merit of her post. It'll be fun. Wait, okay, hold on. So you're defending her post? Answer me that, please. And I don't know how to drop a link. Invite. Copy. Okay, I have it copied. Let me know. Answer this question, please. Are you debating the merit of her posts? The merit of her posts is comparing a historical event to her own personal feelings about her own political party, her own identity, right? Here's the thing, man. I can go on and on about this, and like, sure, like let's come here, man. Like, let's talk about this for sure, because I understand like what you're trying to say here, and I love debating too. But like, debates are pointless as well. You know why? Because I don't even think debates are even the purest way of like communication, like talking about things. Debates, for the most part, are just like ways for people to like to placate to the audience they're placating to, and just it's all flashy and dashing, blah blah blah. Even if it's someone who is super factual, super knowledgeable, and in like in any specific area, who has more knowledge than me, right? Even that person who wrote put it this way, the person who wrote the historical book probably can't debate the person who's reading the book. The person probably is reading the book and like look for them like to like stab at and get wrong. Doesn't mean they're a great debater, because debates are real. I think debates are just like they're like a TikTok. They're like one of those things. It's all flash, no breaks. It's just Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. It's like a reel. They're like, you can have like a good conversation, but that's not a debate. You know what I'm saying? Like, if that makes sense. That's talking through. Yeah, I agree with that too. It's the best action film ever. No, True Lies. I'm sticking to it. True Lies. But T2 is it's like a 1A, 1B scenario, you know? T2 is like 1A, 1B, I think. Oh, that's something else. Same journey here about Christian, went hard and atheism for years, found my faith, but it's what it was. Wait, sorry, found my faith, but isn't what it was before. I'm definitely on an ever-changing journey. Okay. But here's the thing, man. Like, I'm not even like, here's the thing, man. Like, no BS. Like, even like someone believing in religion, that's woke, man. Like, that's identity. You know what I'm saying? So like, it's so weird to me how like certain people go online, find these different narratives that placate towards them, research biases, and then like they just spill it out online. That's what you do this here, but then like you spill it online and try like say, oh, I believe this. They're saying the same thing as me. It has to be true because this person's saying it, right? And then this has been throughout all time. The Pope is saying this. I believe it. The Pope is right? But like, come on, like, but then people who push like that narrative, I was saying like the whole woke narrative, Disney being this, these companies being that, blah 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 blah. Like, not shitting on anyone's religion whatsoever, but then like people who push that like that anti-woke stuff and they come out like as religious, like, what do you think that is? You know what I'm saying? Like, if you can call Disney a cult, if you can call like these LGBTQ ideas cult, if you can call these feminist beliefs a cult, what do you think the ultimate cult is? Religion. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, come on now. You ran the historical effect of time, she states years. Maybe just again, you that time she said down the road, just something beyond the building, your opinions off that. Wait, what? You ran the historical effect of time, she states years down the road, to something beyond building your opinion on that. No, I'm not done my opinion off that. No, I never stated my opinion on like Nazi Germany. I never stated my opinion on like Republicans. Like, no, I just read her thing, and this is what she was saying. This is how I read it. And also, too, it's not how I read it. It's literally her comparing a factual event to her own political beliefs. Like, that's literally what it is. Because this is all during the COVID bullshit. Like, that's like the part no one's talking about. Like, this all happened 3 years ago. What was going on 3 years ago? Right? Lockdowns, people being sick, saying, "Oh, is our government being blah blah blah, blah this and that?" And like, you know what? To some points, I can agree and understand that, but like, I wasn't putting that on like my beliefs. That's nonsense, man. I'm not talking Pedro, the literal countless people that do if you call others Nazis fascists. What do you mean? Who else? No, I just want you to like tell me the names. That's what I mean. Who else? Like, who else? Like, tell me, like, because everything's a case based. Because like, you're trying to say anyone who says this to the company about someone else, is it something? Yeah, but like, just give me an answer so I can see what they said. That's it. You know. Defending concept. Drop the link. Okay, yeah, let me drop the link. Okay, paste. All right, I dropped the link, and then I will get rid of it. I don't know what else coming in here, to be honest. Oh, there he is. Oh, wait. 1 second, man. Let me take this out here. I usually go solo too, so I'm not sure what I'm doing. Is that better?
Yeah. That was the worst trying to talk to you because we're going past each other so much because the time differences.
Yeah, I know, man. I know how it is.
Yeah, context wise, I don't like Gina Carano. I don't dislike Gina Carano. I didn't care for her character in The Mandalorian. I didn't Boy Scout.
She's too butch for me.
Yeah, not just that. Like, it seems like as soon as she got fired, it was like the counterculture people picked her up as a mascot. I think you mentioned that. Like, she's not known for her merits. Like, I even dropped the joke in there. I'm like, what? You're telling me she's not known worldwide for Fast and Furious 6?
Yeah.
My
or being an MMA fighter.
Was, like, Haywire back in 2011. It was a very famous director did it with her and Michael Fassbender. It was a very good spy thriller flick kind of thing. But
Mr. Magneto.
Yeah, she looked like a completely different person back then. But as far as her post goes, just because, man, I'm one of those people that I don't trust the media one bit for countless reasons I can get
Me too,
into
man.
and prove. They just steer and guide everybody. And I didn't have Twitter back then. I don't Twitter. Like I've created a Threads, a Twitter, and all this stuff. I use Instagram and I just cross post onto
Mhm.
Twitter. I don't actually go over there and respond, correspond,
Oh,
or hang
I
out.
use Twitter, man. I do. I'm not saying I
Yeah,
love Twitter. Twitter is a wasteland for sure, but then like it is a place where you'll find different cultural beliefs for sure.
yeah,
But then
which is good,
Twitter,
which is definitely good.
it is, man. And but then like I'm not trying to dog on Elon, but then like ever since Elon bought it, like it has gone to more of a waste. It was a wasteland before that. It's more of that now, but it's still a fun place to go to.
Well,
I
what I
don't go to
heard with
Facebook.
people, it's the not necessarily the algorithm, but like the way that ads run change, and it kind of has disrupted the flow of what they were used to. Because I've asked people like, "What's different now versus then?" And
It's pay
they
to
said
win.
just it just doesn't have the same flow that it used to. It doesn't feel as like easily to communicate and connect or something.
Mhm.
I don't know though, but so I just say all that to say this. So for context to this post, all I have with it is reading it at face value and like you said knowing when it was made and what I was trying to convey in that message in the chat, which is completely getting past you here, is she's not comparing anything to the genocide of Jews. That's where you're
No,
completely
no, no.
off base.
No. That's why I disagree with you, man. Because like she's literally bringing it up. So like,
No. Let me get this out.
okay, go, sorry,
So,
go ahead, go ahead.
like, it seems like the people that are saying that is she's conflate. Like, historically, I don't know how well versed you are, or anybody for that matter, are on the historical aspects of that time and place. The event that she is cataloging specifically for the point of her post is not the genocide of Jews, is not the rounding up for the ghettos, is not none of that. That happened over a course of numerous
Happened
years.
before US got involved. Yes.
Yeah, so she's intentionally picking like an early disruptive time in their culture where the government wasn't rounding up people, the government wasn't doing anything, much less genocide. It was just such a like a like walking on thin ice time in their population that neighbor and neighbor, brother and brother were infighting because of how hot topic politics were. Now, granted, comparing anything back to Nazi Germany is a hot button because some people hear the word Nazi or Holocaust and they don't think, they just fire up and they don't know shit about history either when they're doing it. But she intentionally used a specific time where just the population is a ticking time bomb due to the hot topic of politics. This is not to do with genocide. She's not comparing being a Republican to being taken out on chattel cars or being put in ghettos or concentration camps or death camps. She's not at Birkenau. She's just talking about the infighting in citizens because of the government disagreements. That's what seems so obvious to me from this.
Can I talk now?
Yeah.
Okay. I was trying to let you just finish.
Yeah. That's cool. Yeah. I
right.
appreciate it.
All right, man. So before I continue talking,
Yeah.
I don't want to like spill into. I don't go like Kanye mode, all like schizophrenic road. Like, oh, I'm talking about this leads to that, leads to this, leads to that, right?
Go for it.
So like, I don't know, man. If you bring up an example of an historical event that that's factually happened, right?
Mhm.
And you use that for like she's and the whole thing, political views, not stating her own for sure, right? But then how everything played out, it's kind of evident what way she was leaning. After she got fired, where did she go? The Daily Wire to make a shitty movie for shitty Republicans who love that anti-woke bullshit stuff, and she didn't make it, right? So it's pretty evident that she was leaning a certain way. But like talk about her post, I understand that like World War II happened because of World War One. Like I want to get to the history of it.
I know they didn't. They felt cheated out of
sanctions,
land.
blah, blah, blah. I get that, right?
Yeah.
The whole Adolf Hitler R school meme is funny, right? But like she still chose to compare it. I don't know how else to say it in like a nicer way, like more factual, stateful way. It was her choice of words. No one put a gun to her head. No one put her feet to the fire, to the oven to make this post. She did, right? So if you're gonna tout these comparisons of how times were walking on eggshells, that's what you were comparing it to. Now, what you were saying, how it is now, people walking on eggshells, I get all that, but like that's not real life for the most part. That's mostly online. I
Mhm.
live in California. How many times I can't tell you how many times I've seen people probably in your community or just different communities in general, when I'm like, this doesn't even matter what community, like talk about like certain states and the people and what it is there and like all that kind of stuff. But then if you just ask like regular Californians who live just regular lives like everyone else does, they don't care about that kind of stuff. So it's
Right.
like, even if like you want to like tout this as like this thing she's trying to compare, she's trying to say, and not trust the media, I completely agree with that. But then like she made a comparison to a factual event in history to reiterate her own words,
What
her
event?
own political beliefs. You trying to say something? I'm sorry.
Yeah, it said what event? Because you said she touted it to an event. What event?
Nazi Germany. Like, what are you talking about?
Nazi
World War II,
Germany
like,
is not an event. That's a place and time. What event did she compare it to?
I said World War II. So like that whole time place. I
World
don't
War
know. Like,
II wasn't happening during this. What event? That's what I'm saying. Where you're that's where I think the disconnect is with not just you and I, for example, because I understand what you're saying, but I'm kind of talking on more of a meta level of the conversations I'm seeing with people like in chats, kind of debating this or talking about it or trying to get understanding of it. But Nazi Germany is not an event. World War II is an event that wasn't happening at the time of this post. So
well, that's all I was trying to placate to, like World War II. So like World War II, like I said, World War One. It's the gist I was trying to say. I wasn't trying to get like I said before all this, I'm not trying to get everything historical, but like I'm alluding to something. She's alluding to something. So I thought you understood that. If you want to go through like an
I don't
actual
think that.
event,
Yeah, I don't think
if you
that's
want to go to like an
necessarily
actual
necessary because
event that happened,
she tells us the event and time, so we don't have to guess. So that's just on the
okay, then that's the
linguistics
event I'm
of this.
talking about. Then, like, come on, like
Yeah.
if you're saying she started to an event, that's the event I'm talking about. If you want me to label a specific event, I don't know, in between like 1930 and 1942, 45. I don't know. You pick a time between that.
Yeah, I think
The
the
whole
event
point
that
of
she's
it is
talking about is like specifically like the event of the infighting in the population
yeah,
before
that's what I'm trying
before
to say.
yeah
That
before the
whole time
Holocaust.
frame.
Like this is pre-Holocaust, and I think like it's getting conflated. Like I
It's
guess
not, bro.
people
Like,
are
that's the thing,
just
man. Hold on, man. Hold on.
seeing
There's nothing
Holocaust.
conflating here. There's nothing conflating here. I get
Oh,
what
it's
you're saying.
definitely
There's
conflated.
historical events. What's the conflating, man? Like
I'm
that's
not
what
necessarily I'm not saying that people are wrong for conflating it or right for conflating it. I'm not assigning correctness to it, but there is conflation to say because she pointed out that
I'm not speaking on other people's behalf. I'm talking
civilians
about
were
I'm not speaking on other people's behalf, like you said in the post. I'm talking about her specific post,
Mhm.
what she was alluding to, the event she was talking about, and how it's silly and nonsense compared to like her, not even her political belief, because she didn't state her political belief, but like people behind their words, like people have words all the time, man. So it's like
you know
she
like
alluded to
people put
something.
out
She alluded
those
to a personal feeling. So it's like that's like honestly, bro. I think I think focusing on like that point is placating the event. Like that does more harm because like you're not even talking about the real thing at that point.
that's talking about it specifically with the picture included. That's doing the opposite of conflating or placating. That's just taking it at face value. Like you couldn't take it at more face value. And the way that she structured this is, like you pointed out earlier, to a degree, a cop out. You know, because this whole post isn't her stating anything. It's the whole post is a question that she speaks on a historical aspect of Germany
Yeah, we're just
before.
asking questions. Yeah, we're just
That's
asking
what I'm saying. It's
questions
kind of
here.
like when people put out those motivational quotes, and like I get what you're trying to say, even though you're not saying it to nobody, kind of thing. So she asks a question, and she just uses this historical time in Germany before World War II, before the Nazis enacted the final solution and all that, to say like, hey, y'all don't see a comparison, and like the way that we're feeling divided right now. And like you pointed out, there was a time and stuff going on. People were ostracizing each other for not getting vaccinated or because they got vaccinated or you
I
know what
don't
I'm
know what you're
saying?
talking
Like,
about. That was happening over here. No one like
huh?
that. That's all super online too. Like what you're saying right there, like that's all like anecdotal too. Because I don't know anyone that was doing that. I
Oh,
don't know any rules.
I definitely know people here because you got to think where I live. I live in the blue South. Like this is a blue state here in the South. What's up, bud?
Mhm.
So there's plenty of people that felt very differently. You know what I'm saying? Because
Oh yeah, I know. I
blue
just didn't know
South
anyone
is
that way.
super red too. So I know plenty of people that like cut ties with people and this and that, and we're very vocal about it. I have customers at my business that like that I know today that luckily they need my services because they otherwise I doubt I would see them even come out of their home to this day and don't want nothing to do with people. Like I've on both sides. Like I guess like where I live, like the differences are more extreme. You're either like yee haw or not all, you know. But
Mhm.
this is a huge melting pot of people because of that, I guess. But 'cause I live in Augusta, which is like the third biggest city in Georgia on top
In
of that.
Georgia,
So
and
yeah, there's a lot of different opinions on that. Like now, I'll be honest with you, now that we're a little ways out of that, it's probably just the hypochondriacs that really
no,
care. You know what I'm saying? Those few. The scare
everyone's
is
locked down. Everyone's, it was definitely controversial. I think it was pretty silly. I think the whole like I don't want to get into that point because like
yeah,
it's definitely silly, but like people have their beliefs for what they want, and like you can
good on
continue
you.
those beliefs. Like you can continue those beliefs if you want to, but like if we're playing Monday morning quarterback, we can see where things went wrong on
Mhm.
both sides. We can see what went wrong where people believe in certain things, and we also see where things went right too. You know what I'm saying? So
Oh
it's like
yeah,
it's one of those things.
a lot of things went right and a lot of things went wrong, and luckily
Yeah.
they like from there. There's been actions
A lot of people, a lot of
to
people
correct
lives
on
were
both
saved
sides.
too.
Yeah.
A lot of people,
Like yeah,
a
you
lot
got
of
to
lives
think
were saved.
the very best of us that were trying to figure out what to do. They're just people too that were scared and trying to figure out as well. You know what I'm
Oh
saying?
yeah, I
And
was scared, man. I have asthma, man. I grew up with asthma like all my life, and so like anything respiratory, like I just don't fuck with it, for the most part.
yeah,
So it's like it is,
I
it was
run
that.
what's deemed an essential business. So I was open, and we have medical colleges here. We have the Children's Hospital of Georgia here. We have the universities here. So throughout the lockdown period, because I'm in the South, so we're like lockdown is subjective down here. But during the
Mhm.
lockdown period,
It
I
was here
was
too,
take,
man.
huh?
It was here too. Don't get
Okay,
twisted. Yeah.
okay. But I was taking in customers.
Mhm.
You know, I work with animals, so like doctors, professors, teachers, they dropped off their animals to us that were our customers, and they stayed with us for 6 months solid because they were going remote and stuff, and the
Mhm.
uncertainty of things. So I'm like, all right, no one's coming down to this business. I'm closing the gate, putting a sign on it to call for service, and like for a while, we're like, how do we even grab a leash from somebody? What do we do about taking payment? Like,
Just throw a
leave it
dog
in the
over.
box. We'll get it in a few days, or like
Mhm.
we didn't know. You know what I'm saying? But
No, yeah, I get it. There was no rules and regulations put in place to how to operate after. And yeah, and that's for sure. Yeah. And that's for sure. That's shitty. You just can't shut anything down, blah, blah, blah. And then I don't want to get into the whole like COVID bullshit, all that nonsense. But then like it does play in the fact to like how even this post was even garnished too. And I
yeah,
know like
yeah.
you're talking like the whole historical event. This is an event, like I know what you're trying to say. You shouldn't
Mhm.
state one or blah 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 blah. Like it's during World War One, World War Two.
Well,
It's
my whole
during.
point was that this wasn't the genocide. This wasn't the roundup. This was specifically just talking about the fighting that happened before all of that. And I know what she's
But
pointing
that's what
out. She's like,
happened, though. That's
no,
what
that's what.
that's what it led to. And
Yeah, that's what it led.
I guess she's saying too, like, oh, red and blue congregated in a city. We don't want us fighting each other, blah 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 blah. And I get that. Like, I totally
Mhm.
get that. But then, like that itself, no pun. That's stupid. Like, I think it's stupid because, like, you may say like something like as small as COVID, like is aggregating that, but then like people who believe like race based in the fact, they just call that what like woke ideology. You're online, you're part of the left. It's like no, like people are like are this way for how they look, and I'm
Yeah,
not
the
saying you don't
woke
believe that,
thing
but like
gets
yeah,
drawn to the extreme on both ends as
yeah,
well.
it's so silly, and like I get it too. Like from the other end, like
Oh
if
yeah,
like you're
just for
super Christian,
context.
might be a super conservative. Like, I get all that, you know what I'm saying? So
Yeah,
it's like
just for context, because you said putting your cards on the table is a good, and I agree. Like letting people know where you're coming from the beginning saves a lot of time in a discussion.
oh,
When
it
it
does
comes
for
to the
sure.
woke stuff, I'm definitely anti woke and pro woke, but at the same time, my definition of woke is just where you're I don't know, your social agenda, which everybody has.
Everyone has,
Nobody is
everyone has
devoid of
identity
a social
politics.
agenda.
Everyone has it.
Yeah, where your social agenda supersedes your entertainment value of your media. If you're in the entertainment business, making an entertaining product should be first and foremost. And if you're good at writing stuff, it'll look like how it's been for most of the time,
But
where
that's not always happens though, man.
where your
That's
message is in there. Well,
Yeah.
no, your message is in there, but what's happened is it's just kind of got the weights and measures of, like, it used to be like art house and indie stuff is where you went for a heavy social message. You knew it, you expected it, and the weights and measures are off. It's kind of trendy to be woke, like to be more talking about social issues in media. It got trendy there. It's like everything comes in trends, and it's really affected a lot of the quality of products that have come out. And like for the better and worse in some cases, but most of the time for the worse, you get mediocre stories because their focus was on, we need to make sure we elevate this aspect of this or you can make a good movie.
I think you can make a good woke movie, because I think you can make a good woke movie.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Like, if you want to play a woman story, you can make a good woman story. If you want to make like a good like Latino family story, I haven't seen Blue Beetle yet, but like I'm assuming it's like a nice Latino
Blue Beetle
movie.
was awesome. Yeah,
you said Flash was awesome, so I'm not sure about that. But then like
I'm saying
I
for
was
what
trying to say
it
like you said Flash was like, come on, but then like, or Black Adam, like, or something like that.
I call my bias on that. I call that from day one. I'm JSA like fanboy. Like that was a dream come true to get to see that.
Oh yeah, Dr. Faye was all. Yeah.
And for me, Hawkman stole the show. You know, the race swapped character that absolutely stole the show, Hawkman. Mm-hmm. So you can, but they didn't.
Yeah, you can do it. Like even Supergirl in the Flash, she's like,
and that's the
Latino
thing.
Like or Latin thing.
Race swapping's never been an issue. Elevating a female character has never been an issue. It's when if you were to put Ripley in, if you were to put Sigourney Weaver as a lead in a sci-fi movie, call her Ripley, and then spend the whole movie having all your supporting characters tell her how good she is for being the head of this semi-truck space crew, that's woke. Or if you just put her in there and just let her be badass, that's not woke. That's elevating women. That's the difference.
I disagree with that point to an extent. If you're making a character the lead character, and not saying this based off a woman, you can say that's from the start. I actually, but then like it just amplifies more. It just weighs more in how the plot, how you cut certain scenes, the dialogue between certain characters. That's more amplified throughout everything else. So
you think inherently having a female lead is considered woke?
Yeah, absolutely. You can make that. You can make that. Wow. But like, I'm not saying I'm gonna call it woke. I'm not saying I believe it's woke.
Oh, you think like nut jobs will call it woke?
Yeah, exactly.
Absolutely. Yeah. I guess I was talking more to like
no. Yeah, I was just trying to say that point because here's the thing though, man. Because like you can placate or any like it's all like technicalities and like it's all mental gymnastics they call it too, right? So like anything that does come out clean, right, or just comes out unscathed, right? And I could say it's like even like I don't even compare Marvel DC, but like because I love both of them, obviously you can tell behind me. But it's like the whole like gender swap thing or race swap, and Supergirl in the Flash, she's not like some blue-eyed blonde-haired girl. That's not the real Kara.
She was South American, wasn't she?
Yeah, she's like Colombian or like she's
Sasha Calle crushed that role too.
And she was like one of my favorite spots in the movie. You know, like she was like one of the few bright spots in that movie, right?
What did you do?
Yeah. What did you do?
Yeah. You felt it.
But then like even that part, right? Say if Disney ever did that, right? Like they would like jump that out the wazoo. But like no one cares about Warner Brothers and DC because they are it's a failed state at this point. And hurts me to say that, but like it just is what it is. No one cares to call it woke. No one cares to call it, a feminist movement. But that is something that if you believe that, you specifically, you can say that if you want to. But like
when you're on top, you got the most eyes on you.
Exactly, right? So it's like it's just one of those things that like people want to play toward. And even like the Pedro thing, like bro, I don't give a shit.
Pedro thing? I'm
not the whole this thing, but the whole Pedro for like for Reed.
Oh, for Reed Richards?
Yeah, like that whole like race.
I love Pedro Pascal.
I love Pedro, man.
After The Last of Us, that man can do no wrong.
That's bro. My wife loves like every woman loves Pedro. So like my wife
loves Pedro.
And that's the thing too, man. Like I don't get like the certain like slight
got
towards
dad
him.
face, doesn't he? Like Reed is supposed to be like a father figure to that team, not you know
Bro,
what I
like
mean?
I would like not to switch gears here, but I would love for them to like for Rhea and Sue to be split already, and then like Rhea has Valeria, and then like Sue has Franklin, and then like
Mm.
Doom is in there somewhere because that's what Secret Wars is, man. Because like I don't know if you read Secret Wars, like the new like the 2015 one, like that's what Secret Wars is. It's a Doom, Reed Richards or
Get into the God Emperor
y-
Doom part,
yeah,
so
yeah.
that we can
It's
do the
all like, it's
multi.
that's basically what it is. So like if you can do that in the Fantastic Four movie, just have them split already, have them established at some point, and show that friction because that's what Reed is, man. He's that dad bod, that dad vibe. He's an
I
asshole.
think
Like,
for them to do Fantastic Four right, and I said this like from jumping they announced it because I'm a firm opinion that they need to reboot the MCU and it's Secret Wars is their key to do it with.
oh
You
yeah,
know,
for sure.
it's just ran its course. There's no way around it. They ran through 80 years of comic lore already. They're out of material. They're out of
No, that's not
characters.
true. I that's nah,
It's true. You can like it all you want, but it's true. I'm just stating facts at this point.
They ran through
They're
80 years of lore already.
yes of lore. Yes,
Marvel has.
the MCU has ran through 80 years worth of lore in a decade. They did.
No, they haven't. No, they haven't.
Did they use every story in a movie? No. Did they run through chronologically 80 years worth of stories and drop in a movie as a benchmark along the way? Yes, they did. And they're out of characters also. So I mean, you can that's why we're already into like all different Marvel. We're up to 2016 content in just over a decade at the MCU. And that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. They did something that's never been done before and they massively succeeded. They did it. But unfortunately, there's nowhere else to go but down. They peaked and they'll not be able to cross. They did a once in history. They were the first ones to ever do it. They can't do it again, no matter how much they try. They're gonna have to find their new level, par for the course kind of thing. But it's over. So the only way that they can do it is trying to like find new base level franchises like Fantastic Four, X-Men that they haven't got to dive into yet. So if they want to do that, we're
Well,
going to need
I thought they ran through the lore already though.
but they hadn't touched FF. They're going to have to find a way to do it like
But
on
they
its
ran through the
own.
lore. If they ran through the lore, they shouldn't be doing it though.
They're going to have to find some. That's what I'm saying. They're going to have to find another way to do it. Now, stay with me here. A flashback story, like because again, we're through the lore. We know we're up to Secret Wars, which, like you said, what year was it?
2015, whatever.
So we're up to 2015. So you give us a Fantastic Four set in the 1960s, kind of like.
Well, hold on. So okay, this way we're clear. So if you think a company uses a modern storyline, that means they run out of ideas.
No, if you
or even if you believe that, so even if they're using a modern storyline, so was Marvel done when they used Civil War?
No, you can't you can't look at the MCU movies and see where they fit into the actual comic book history and see how they ran chronologically forward.
Wait, say that again?
You can't take the MCU projects, lay them down in chronological order, the actual movies, and then take the history of Marvel Comics from like, Fantastic Four and Spider-Man hitting the scene to today chronologically and just like take the movies and just how they go in order. You don't see that?
I think, okay, hold on. Make sure I say this correctly.
Yeah.
I think that's not a problem, but I think there's something to be said about fans and like what and how they push towards and their own like chronological thing. They read comic books and like expect that in another medium.
Oh no, I don't expect it. I'm just
an
observation.
I get that. I get that. Because I get that. Because you're basically saying like, so since the MCU, the movies that come out from Iron Man 1 to the Marvels recently, right? The last one, they've used all of their storylines in a certain way, all of the lore up until now, right? And
there's plenty of story.
There's
more comics than movies. That's not the point I'm making. The point I'm making is like we've ran forward and we've burned out Cap, we burned out Iron Man, you killed Natasha. You know what I'm saying? They've done it like in a linear path, just like they've done the movies in a linear path.
I get that. No, I understand that, but like I don't understand like how is. So I was just trying to understand why you say it's like it's like the lore is like it's all been ran through. This from the character's perspective.
I'm talking about the linear path of the lore, not all the content. We haven't used all the comic content that you can source for ideas and stuff. I'm saying like the linear path of the lore.
Okay, yeah. That's what I was trying to get to as well. Because like, so like from that point, trying to say like, and it's over from their own chronological what they're trying to
No,
make, right?
again,
Right.
stay with me here. I'd say that because if you follow that linear path, which they've done, like again, this is just an observation. This isn't my opinion. I'm just pointing out an observation of what they've done and what we're left with. So, what would be my ideal solution was we need to introduce the Fantastic Four and do it in a flashback 60s, in the space age thing when they were doing their
Yeah,
thing.
it's like a popular thing online too. Yeah, I see what you're saying.
So if you introduce them like that, you're not beholden to anything at all. You can make a fire Fantastic Four movie, throw in any kind of Easter eggs to seed Secret War later. That way you don't have to try to introduce us to the Fantastic Four beholden to current continuity.
Their
And the
origin
first
to
time we
this.
see them in current continuity will be the first time we see them since the 60s. So they can be any way you want them to, like you just pointed out, already have kids. So I think that would be a great way to bring them in. And now you have a flagship franchise with household names for comic fans. And most anybody who's not even into comics still knows the name Fantastic Four. I mean, they've been around, so I think that would be
First
a great
family for a
way to
reason.
actually like really solidify them in there, but you have to give them that foundational film. I would hate to see them introduced into the present MCU because how much they're beholden to. And from there you get Secret Wars, and then from Secret Wars the sky is the limit. Continuity is yours to write however you want it. Bring characters back, leave characters out. For the love of God, the fact that we haven't had a Captain America on screen since Falcon and Winter Soldier is mind-boggling. The fact that they didn't rush Anthony Mackie out.
No, we can Captain America. Peggy Carter.
That's Agent Carter. You know what I'm saying? But the fact that we don't have
Captain America though.
Yeah, they didn't rush Anthony Mackie's film, like the first to print kind of thing, blows my mind. Like you need Captain America, and Anthony Mackie is such a beloved character.
So I stay with you. I get what you're trying to say, but then like I was trying to understand from the point like they're like you're like the lore is gone just from what they're trying to establish. That's what you're trying to say, like from start to finish now.
Yeah, like the linear path. I feel like we're only going to Secret War. That's as far as you have to go, because after that, you've continuity wise in the movies, you've opened up Pandora's box to whatever you want. Because you're rebuilding.
I just missed it because like I said, there's plenty of things you can draw from.
Oh yeah,
and like you were like saying too, like 2015 was Secret Wars, but like Civil War was like 2010 maybe
2006.
Okay, yeah, Civil War, yeah. So like I get that point too, and like I agree. Like it's just part of the progression. Everything comes in cycles. Like there's a cycle of from the ground up to the peak, and then the downfall. Ground up, repeat. It's all that, right?
Yeah, they just haven't found that ground floor again. That's why I think doing a period piece, because a part of the problem, you hear a lot of people say it's just too much to keep up with, and now like those.
I disagree, man. I would love all this. Like I would love more content. The more, like the better. Like I would want more.
I'm not
content.
saying me or you. I'm saying like a general audience is what's getting lost here. That's why I'm saying they have to find a new par here, because they had a phenomenon in their hand of like everybody, every Tom, Dick, and Harry on the planet didn't miss anything, But now like it's not as popular as it was, and they still have a huge fan base, but it's not what it was. So you have to like kind of properly rearrange your expectations and gauge for your current fan base so that what you're doing are financially successful and delivering.
Yeah, not throwing $1 million budgets off.
Yeah, I firmly believe that all these companies are laundering money in these movie budgets.
Bro, I believe that.
Godzilla Minus One was a $12 million budget.
I still haven't seen Godzilla Minus One. Yeah, the last movie I saw on theater was The Marvels, and that was it. And I know it came out a little after.
Yo, I just went and saw Argyle last week, and I love Matthew Vaughn films like The Kingsman and Kick Butt, the movie, and $200 million Apple paid for that.
The Argyle movie?
It was a great movie, but it justify $200 million for that, please. Like it's
just
impossible.
Put on your streaming, yeah.
It's impossible to justify
your streaming platform.
That's that is true. They get the streaming rights for free. They don't have to pay for that. But how is the movie cost that to make? They're funneling money. Like there's no way I'm going to be convinced otherwise.
Well, you need to pay Henry Cavill what he deserves. And then you got to pay, was it not Matt Reeves? What's his name again? The director?
Matthew Vaughn, the director. Sam Rockwell was in it. Bryce Dallas Howard was in it. Sam
You gotta pay
Jackson,
Samuel Jackson from the other ones too.
Bryan Cranston was in it. Like it had an all-star cast. I'll give it that.
Hey,
That's loud, buddy. That's all you can hear over this.
but I'm
What's
gonna
that? Huh?
turn the volume down to level
It's his computer. You can turn the volume
Oh,
down to
okay.
level 0.
but it won't go to level 0.
Oh, okay, that's a problem.
It
But
only
yeah.
goes to level
Yeah, I think
1.
I think they can rebreathe life into the MCU if they find another. Like Iron Man was a foundation, like it's just how it happened. So that's the lightning that you have to get to strike again. Is that foundational character that fans are like,
Look.
that's it, something you can build
Okay.
from, and you can't do that because we're not on the ground floor anymore. We're just not. We're decades past it, So they had to find a way to find it. I think that'd be a good way.
No, yeah, for sure. Something like that. Or they're already out there trying to stop the multiverse, like from dying, the incursions. Like that's what.
Where have they been this whole time? In the
Exactly, yeah.
negative zone, trying to keep it together.
Mhm.
We didn't succeed. We held it for a while, but now we're at a secret war. Easy.
Yeah,
peasy.
you're right. Yeah, fix it. Yeah, easy peasy lemon squeezy, man.
And we've introduced Reed enough to be like in Doctor Strange that makes sense.
Mm-hmm. The Council of Reeds.
Yeah, because remember, we introduced him in a movie called Into the Multiverse of Madness, so it makes sense for them to be in the multiverse.
And that's the thing, man. I love
Multiverse
Multiverse of Madness. I know that's an unpopular opinion. I don't know why people don't like that much. I love Multiverse of Madness. It's a hidden gem in Phase 4, I'll say, because
it was probably the best of it.
The best of Phase 4?
What else is in there? It's all so forgettable.
Daddy.
And Phase 4, right? Shang-Chi, the Phase 4.
Yeah, it jumped the shark. It jumped the shark for me with Trevor Slattery and the literal butt walking around on 4 legs. It just
the little butt. Oh, like the little
Morris. His name is Morris.
Oh, okay, yeah, the one he sees. Okay, yeah, gotcha. Oh, yeah,
it was a real creature.
Yeah, you're out of here, man. That movie was good. No Way Home's good. Wakanda Forever is good.
Well, I firmly disagree. That movie was ass.
Yeah, I know you call it Wakanda Forgettable, but you seem to remember that a lot though. But
I just remember to call it Wakanda Forgettable. The movie was ass.
I don't know, man. If you call something forgettable, you always remember it's not that forgettable.
Well, I remember it by making a tagline out of it.
And it's not that forgettable. I don't even. Well, like Phase 4, yeah. I'm not trying to defend Phase 4. I'm just trying to think of like all the good movies or the movies I liked from it. Well,
I think that I just think it's been like I've just been left disappointed from.
Oh, okay, hold on. So let's go back to like the point you're talking about. Like we're talking about the woke stuff, right? So it's like if I believe like woke, wherever you want to call woke, right? That doesn't make a movie good or great. You know what I'm saying? Like it's just
good or bad. Yeah.
Yeah. Or yeah, that's a good or great. Yeah, good or bad. It's how it's from conception. Like, what did you think of this? What what's the ending, middle, beginning, all that kind of stuff, like that's what makes a movie good. How you execute it. What's the director, like what's the communication from top to bottom, how everyone is organized. That's what makes a movie good or great. Having a movie being woke doesn't make it good or great. It just makes it woke. It just makes it lazy. And I agree with that point.
Well, not necessarily lazy. It means that there's like a social agenda heavily represented in it. And that doesn't have any bearing on good or bad.
Sure. Yeah. And to me, like, I don't even care if you want like a social like agenda movie. Like even like the
there's nothing inherently wrong with the social agenda.
No, yeah, no. But then like it gets hijacked by certain people, blah blah blah, and like to push narratives. And like even the stupid was it Sound of Freedom? Like what was that the
yeah about the,
that was made
thing.
That was made during the before the merger. It's been sitting on the shelf for a while. When Disney acquired it was finalized for the Fox thing. That was part of the deal or part of the package. And Disney's like, we're not gonna release a trafficking based movie. That's not our product, blah blah blah. And
it's 20th Century Fox's product though. Yeah, Disney was trying to hold that movie back. Like they didn't
because they don't want to. No, I know, but they weren't trying to because it's still part of like I get all that, but that's still part of it because Disney owns that. So it's
that movie doesn't represent them in any way, shape, fashion, or form whatsoever.
I know, no, I agree with no, I agree. Yeah. But then like that's still a reflection on Disney. That's the point I'm trying to say. Like no matter what,
not. That's what I'm saying. It's not in no way, shape, fashion, or form.
It is if you're like it is though. Like if I own you as a company wise from this point, and it is silly, right? The whole thing was silly.
Do you know that they were refusing to sell it? They had to be sued to sell it. They wouldn't.
I know the whole story. I know the whole. I know the whole story. I know what was going on.
Represent them. They just didn't want the movie out for whatever reason.
because it doesn't reflect what I agree. It doesn't do that because like they don't want that being reflected often because it will reflect them if it comes out under them. If someone's released, no matter what, through my lens, and I own this house, whatever. If a midget walks out my house,
Oh no, when I say sell it, I mean sell it to get it out from under them. They didn't want to even do that. They had to be taken to court to let it go, to get it out from under them to be released. So
Yes,
what you're
yes, yes, yes,
saying
yes.
then,
No, no, no,
right
yes,
now,
yes, yes,
that
yes.
movie represents Disney, is what you're saying.
Yeah,
right
'cause-
now.
yeah, yes, because even how it was even placated after, how it was pushing the narrative wise too. So it's like that's like I'm showing you like an example of like
Mhm.
these things, no matter what they are, good or bad, bad or great, they can be pushed as like it's like, and like that could even be woke too. Like that whole idea of like that could be woke. But
Yeah, it's I'd say it turned into woke. I don't think if you look at when it was made, I don't think it would have been at the time, but by the time
That's-
it did come out,
yes,
because
exactly.
society changes.
That's what
Yeah,
I was trying to get to, because it was shelved for a long time, part of the
Mhm.
merger, at least under Disney's, because that's who owns it now, and that's still a reflection of them. Either if they want to release it or not, they want to hold it or not, that's still their right to do it, I think, no matter what. But like each his own, right? But it just ended up becoming this big of a mess of a thing because
Yeah.
narratives
Well,
taking over.
I guess I would just don't understand how it's a reflection of Disney if their company didn't make it. Now, if they were to have bought 20th Century Fox and looked at it and said, cool, release it, let's make money, that would reflect them. They looked at the product, they made the conscious decision to choose to
But they didn't
I
want to
guess,
release it. That's what I was saying. They didn't want to, and I understand that point too.
yeah,
Like
yeah. And
when
then
it was bought, they didn't want to release it because this doesn't represent their values, right? For whatever reason that means. It's not
it
a
doesn't
part of
represent
the
20th
brand.
Century Fox values, whatever it means.
Sure,
'Cause
whatever, but it's still
That's like
represent.
saying Avatar is Disney, and James Cameron couldn't be more explicit that it's not, despite Disney owning 20th Century Fox. No, he had to sue Disney to get all of his funds for his movie that it made, because they were funneling Avatar money to themselves. He's like, no.
No, yeah. Oh, I get all that,
That's
man.
how
But that's like
separate those
that's
entities
like again, that's I get that point. But that's like a giant chasing like a chicken or something like that. You know, it's
I'm
like
saying if that movie, if Avatar doesn't represent Disney, which I feel that it doesn't represent them at all.
oh, it
Like,
does.
I feel like it's a
No.
parent
No,
company,
see, that's
but-
right. It does reflect Disney because like Disney is a monopoly. They acquire assets over time. They acquire
Mhm.
IPs, and like that's a reflection of Disney. Like, is it not? So it's like
Well, I think if
everything
they own it,
is-
I don't think it's a reflection of it. I guess like I would just try to clarify those terms, I guess. You know what I mean? I don't think that everything that 20th Century Fox puts out is a reflection of the values of the company of Disney versus the value of the sub companies. That's why there's sub companies that are created, like the movie Tombstone with Kurt Russell and Val Kilmer. That movie never represented Disney value a day in its life, but it was made by Touchstone Pictures, which was intentionally created to separate movies that don't reflect Disney values while still owned by Disney.
When did that come out?
1994 or 5, I'm thinking. You know the movie Tombstone?
No.
I'll be
But like,
yeah.
but like, when did Disney buy Fox, or when did that merger?
Oh, that was under Touchstone Pictures before Disney owned 20th Century
No,
Fox.
I know.
They had their own
I
company
know,
called
I know,
Touchstone for
I know.
films that were outside the Disney brand.
Mhm.
So I don't.
Okay.
That's what I'm saying. I think that they own them. They're responsible ultimately for things that may come or go with them, but it's not a reflection of their company. Of Disney, it's a reflection of 20th
I
Century
disagree,
Fox.
man.
That's why they split these companies for those reasons.
I mean, I get it, but like, I still.
Right here where your desk is and these are
Mhm.
used to be where the toy bucket is.
In here? Oh yeah. It did, didn't it?
Yeah, this used to
Mr.
be.
Toys.
Oh no,
There's some
he's-
behind you. Grab
dude,
those.
my dude, he's sitting here playing with all the MonsterVerse and Avatar stuff, and there's a whole wall of my toys he plays with up there.
Mhm.
My toys are not off limits to the kids. They just have to play with them carefully.
Yeah, I have there's a handful, right? But I make sure my son gets enough toys of his own, so it doesn't bother me for my toys.
Yeah.
But I just think like from top to bottom, like it is a reflection of the company no matter what. Now, if it's like a amplified reflection, that's where it's different. But like the whole Avatar thing, I think that's a reflection of Disney because like that's their MO. They create stuff, they buy stuff, and like they recur, and but like not like the messaging of Avatar, because there is a messaging there, right? But like that doesn't reflect Disney. The business side reflects of Avatar, because like Avatar is that huge of an IP, if that makes sense. So it's like its own, to each its own. Each IP has its own mirror to like how it reflects something. But the whole point I was trying to say about the Sound of Freedom thing was like,
I know about
even that was like hijacked, you know, from like, it's fine. Even that was like hijacked, you know, from people online with this ideology, you know what I'm saying? And like trying to push it as something that's like anti-woke, blah, blah, blah. And like, it's just a stupid movie based off Christian values and from a Christian studio. And they were just trying to make it that way, you know? And they were trying to be edgy.
I wonder who made it to begin with, because it was Angel Studios, which is a Christian-based production company that bought the finished movie.
Yeah.
So I wonder who I don't know who made it beforehand or what their goal was, other than to make just a movie on the story of that guy. Will you keep that over there, please? He's got his little pellet pewy, which he knows not to put in front of the. Like you'll kill someone's stream in a millisecond.
But yeah, I think even like that guy was based off of
it over here and just click on it. Just
I think even that guy was based off of too. Like it's, I don't know, man. Like we both agree, like we don't trust the media stuff. Like obviously, we both agree like there's good and bad woke stuff, blah blah blah. And so like it's always like that middle ground too. You get to like you know needle between. But then like I think the guy who was based off of was this. It's part of that narrative too. I think from conception, that movie was made as an agitator. That's my belief. Even like how like the studio's a Christian studio, and I'm being a Christian, but like hey, we're talking about laundering money. Who has a lot of money to launder? The biggest cult in America?
Catholics.
Churches? Or that too.
Specifically.
One of them.
Yeah, but most of your Protestant church, at least in this part of town, like most of your Protestant churches are where the folks who don't have money go to church.
Yeah, right. One of the
Methodist,
cousins of
Baptist.
yeah.
You got money, you can go to the one where they sprinkle babies and drink wine. If you ain't got that money, you better not come for no wine.
Just make sure my adrenochrome is 90 proof. All right. That's all I gotta say.
The whole woke thing, like it's weird, like toting the line, because I don't like it, to put it like simply just in modern politics. I don't lean toward the modern conservative party or the modern Democratic Party. Talking parties, not the traditional values associated with those parties, because I find things I love about both of the traditional values associated with them. Like don't blow a lot of tax people's monies. People are humans, you know, like those kind of things like make sense to me, you know?
Yeah. Family values for sure. Right. Yeah.
Yeah. But translating that whole, like, it's kind of hard because like, you know, a lot of people that watch my channel I have heavy conservatives that watch it, as well as like far leaning liberals that watch it. And I see some of that animosity in the chat sometimes, and they come at me sometimes because I'd be like, yeah, this wasn't bad. This wasn't that good. They just leaned into the woke thing, and then they get all like, oh, well, no. I'm like, well, to be fair, to qualify myself, which you know I love it, I'm reading Alan Scott Green Lantern, which is probably the best book on shelves these days. Like it's the first story about the gay Green Lantern who's been straight since the 1940s. It was retconned, and it's so good.
Is this a modern?
Yeah, like issue 4 came out last week, 4 of 6. So
okay.
Green Lantern, the Golden Age Green Lantern during New 52, you know, everything just reset, like hard reset. When he was reintroduced as a gay man. And it was a fantastic story. It's been like the reason why my Sunday show is called At Week's End, since for as long as you've known me, since like my earliest days on here, is because that story with the New 52 JSA was called At World's End. Okay. It started out as being called Earth 2, and it ran for 28 issues, and they just changed the title to At World's End because the world that they lived on was getting destroyed, and they were coming over to the main New 52 world. But I love it so much. It's some of my favorite comic stuff that I named that show At Week's End. Well, after New 52, the JSA were not around. They just weren't in comics. They weren't written into comics. Like they never existed, nothing. They returned during Doomsday Clock, just for a timestamp reference. So that wasn't that long ago in all things considered. From New 52 to Doomsday Clock is a while that we didn't have the JSA. So we are just now getting our very first Alan Scott story, where the main continuity Alan Scott is getting a story and it's showing what it is that he's been a closeted gay man like for his life, you know. So because they turned him gay in New 52,
woke,
they're just
woke.
Yeah, well, it is. But the thing is Tim Sheridan, who's writing it, like he's an openly gay man, and he says, I love Alan Scott. I love his history. I love his lore. I refuse to mess that up. And he hasn't. He's honored the history. He's honored the lore. And there's a time when you're just pandering. And there's a time where how can we make this make sense? I know in the 1940s, you couldn't be openly gay. it was a crime in a lot of places to be openly gay. So if you're gonna decide to make a character gay, I see an easy way to write this story right here, where there's a lot of story that can be written. Like he's in the story, he's taken himself to a mental hospital because he thinks there's something wrong with him because society says there is. His secret boyfriend turned out to be a Russian spy that used that part of his life to get in and like steal. Like it's so good. They didn't change nothing with his history. They're just showing you what he had to hide from the world because of the time. I'm like, boom. Perfect. And it's got so much heart, so much action like that. That's how you do it. Like,
so you can like make them gay in modern times, like just asking this in general, like you can make them gay
like in modern times. And this is just the first time that they've, since he's returned, that there's ever been a story told. So all of these trigger happy channels, you know, that are rage viewing or just worst comic of the year, Alan Scott. And then I go over there and I don't troll them in the comments. I'm like, yo, did you read the comic? Because that didn't happen. This
those Geeking Gamers quartering types.
Yeah, like the Thinking Critical is this comic channel that all he does is hate content comics, and I don't think he reads them. I think
they don't read them, man.
Synopsis of them, like on League of Comic Geeks, and then runs a narrative off of them. Because I'll go over there and I'll even come like, yo, this was a fantastic book. Like, what are you talking about?
So like they bring back the JSA. That's part of his backstory. It's like a retcon to his lore, essentially. That just hasn't been signed yet. And then moving forward, he's just in like the modern day times.
Yeah, when so like I don't know if you know, but the New 52 is an in continuity reset. Dr. Manhattan altered the DC universe. That's why there's a hard reset. And Doomsday Clock is about the DC characters finding that out. That's what happened to our history, that we're slowly figuring out we had a history before New 52 issue 1. We have all this history that was changed and we forgot about. And they found out Dr. Manhattan was the catalyst. So in the final issue, with things being corrected, Dr. Manhattan brings back the JSA, because the way that he changed history to create the New 52 universe is when Alan Scott's train that derailed and everyone died and he was about to die, but there was a broken cargo with this shining green light and he reached out and touched this lantern that gave him power and saved his life. Dr. Manhattan watched that event happening and he moved the lantern out of his way, where he died right there. So the JSA never happened on the main Earth. So it's fantastic the way that they wrote it in. And so the JSA were brought back to modern times. And then they just kind of been just in the background or here or there. They just hadn't had stories rolling. Well, last year we got a JSA standalone, Sandman miniseries, Jay Garrick Flash miniseries, and a Green Lantern miniseries.
Just part of like the prolonged.
Yeah,
because like they introduce new things, and then like the wave down the road. That's where we're going to tell that story. Okay, let's make it.
Yeah. And these three solo titles are just telling stories that all take place in the 1940s. Standalone story for Sandman, the guy with the gas mask. Standalone story for the Golden Age Flash, and standalone story for Alan Scott. Because JSA fans have been thirsty, you know.
No, I'm pro retcon, man. Like I love retcons done.
Yeah, properly. What else are you gonna do? You got to add something to them.
Yeah, exactly. You just can't just tell the same thing over and over again. Because like even like I mean X-Men, right? Mutants. Like even I don't know if you read the Avengers versus X-Men, which is Eternals, the X
versus Eternals. I read the first couple of issues and then like it just kind of fell off because of how much I pull, kind of thing.
Oh, okay.
I wasn't keeping up with enough to really feel the weight and the
no, for sure.
Like, dude, I can't invest in this properly. I'm just not getting nothing out of it.
Yeah, that's why I had to stop, man. Like I love buying comics, man, but like I just can't keep buying comics, man. I just read them online, to be honest. But
yeah, there's some stuff I still just read down the line. I'll just buy the collection and get the
for sure. Mean? That's like the best way I think to do it, like as an adult, to be honest. But and in that story, they kind of retcon the mutants like backstory, and so like they kind of just make it more like a deviant gene, like the Eternals parts, and that's why it's X-Men versus Avengers was the Eternals, and even like how the Iron Man makes like the celestial like iron suits in a way. Yeah, it's super cool, and like that's like a good way to even make X-Men in the MCU. Like, oh, here we go, like let's make them like a deviant gene in some way somehow, if you want to go that route. And so you can amplify their powers too. That's why you're doing it different as well. It's a nice retcon without changing like the Magneto and Charles, the lifeline of the X-Men, and like trickles out to the other ones. And it's like one of those things, like doesn't mess with anything. It just makes you rethink of how everything was set in place.
Yeah, it's an added layer. Yeah,
exactly. Yeah, and that's like it done correctly, I think. And I'm pro retcon. Like,
yeah, proper retcon. You're not destroying anything that exists. You're adding something to it you didn't know was there. And when
So
you
like
do, and Jeff Johns is like a master of that. And everyone praises Jeff Johns, but other people catch so much hell for doing retcon stuff. I
or Michael
love Jeff.
Bendis.
Yeah, he man, I don't know. Yeah, I just kind of say that Michael Bendis has a Frank Miller effect. Like he was amazing in his heyday, but like people keep going, like their lives keep going. They're a writer and you see their work, but you don't see them having grandkids and doing this and doing that, and their perspectives change and what's important to them change. And if their writing is an expression of themselves in art form, like that expression is going to change over time. And that's
You know what's funny?
what
Speaking on
happens.
that point, I just like watched the Chris Claremont interview, or at least one of them, and I never like watched Chris Claremont interviews before. I just like heard like stories of the people talking about him, blah blah blah. But like watching that interview, like just him, how he talks and how he is, and like okay, it makes sense how inclusive you were, especially with the X-Men, and especially like how he's strong, like these
Female.
female like overbearing characters too. It's like okay, that makes sense. Like for what it is, like even that could have been pushed narrative even in today's world. But like okay, like that's just how you are. Like that's just seem like who you're just kind of guy you are. There's nothing wrong with that too.
No,
That's
I think, dude, the temperature of society outside of comics has so much to do with how people are viewing comics. Because back when Claremont was killing it on X-Men, if it was today, that's the textbook definition of woke garbage. He front run people of color, females, and it was like people looked at it and said, "Yo, this is different. Let me check it out," because it was interesting. Now, because of how much stuff is just interwoven, because like everything's so connected, everything, what people are thinking. So it's easy to see intent and stuff. It's so easy. Like with taking it back to that Corona post, we know her intent was to be spicy and fiery and take a hot button thing and try to balance it with a question so that it's like not obvious, but your not obviousness is obvious. It is, but it's easy to do that in people's bodies of work now, where back then you've never seen a Chris Claremont interview. You've never seen his name off of a page of this comic or a random fanzine magazine. You have no clue who he is, what he thinks, what he believes. The only evidence we have to find that out is inside these characters.
Yep, exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Like that's what we're missing. Like that, we can't expect to see that in comics anymore. So it's more difficult to separate creators from their body of work when you explicitly to the detail know what these creators' goals are. Same thing with the MCU. We explicitly know what their goal is when in Ant-Man, Wasp, and the Quantumanium, they're peddling communism for some reason. It didn't offend me, but it was laughable watching that in some parts. I'm like, this is like a commercial for communism in parts of this. They literally say it in parts of it. Like,
what part of it? I can't remember what part.
To be the most blatant one is when Hank Pym says, communism is a hot button word, but we sure can learn a lot from it. That line of dialogue exists in that movie.
That was in Quantumania.
You didn't see it?
No, I think he said Ant-Man and the Wasp for some reason.
Slap you in the face is hilarious.
No. I think he said Ant-Man and the Wasp for some reason. Okay.
I'm sorry, Ant-Man and the Wasp, Quantumania.
Okay. My bad. Okay. I was thinking of the second one, not the okay.
Yeah, I enjoyed the theater.
I thought he said socialist
a lot, but it was hilarious.
I'm pretty sure he said socialist, not
Yeah, socialist.
Okay.
Yeah, same difference. But like it was like, why are you trying to run off your audience? Like that's what lazy woke messaging is.
So you think like him making a statement on socialism is a lazy thing? Just asking.
Because again, like playing to what I just said, like knowing what people's motives are because of how much information we have, how many interviews we have, how connected we are. We don't have to guess people's intent. We know people's intent because they tell us. Like, and so for them to throw that in there, and like you point out, if you look at the time and place, knowing how society is like, like big push for democratic socialism in the political sphere, and Disney is supportive of that political sphere. And then
what's wrong? Okay, so like in the movie, it's just like a one-off line, right? He said like this is like a reference to.
I use that as like the most direct examples when they directly said it. Yeah.
But like in the movie, it's just like a one-off thing. It says right. It doesn't like go on and on about socialism, right?
No. That's why I said it was funny. It was a funny joke to me, but like to them, it wasn't. It was a one-off thing. Like they cut it like I believe, if I'm not mistaken, Scott cut him off because they were in the middle of the war. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but
that's the thing, man. Like, that's the thing, man. Like, I see nothing wrong. Like, I think that's funny too. Like,
I see it and I laugh. I'm like, God, one, that's cringe on Disney to do it. 2, that's funny considering the totality of the environment. And 3, oh my God, y'all just gave everyone what they needed to get online and tank your movie. No one's going to go see this because you're giving them reasons. And unfortunately,
Yes.
people don't decide for themselves. They go watch the Nerdrotic, or they go watch
the reviews,
the this or that, and they just, it's the hive mentality, and we're all guilty of it to different degrees. Some people's hives are really small, just their family and their close friends, and some people's hives are the internet. Some people don't live at home with mom and dad. They live in a little small apartment. The only like real interaction they have is that, you know. But dude, like when I see these companies just handing the ammunition to the people that actively are capable of shooting them in the foot, they are capable of it. They do it.
I agree. Like, okay, I agree because I remember watching that movie. For one, Quantum was garbage. It ruined my birthday. It came out a day before my birthday. I came home. My wife was like, "Did you like it?" I just didn't say anything. She's like, "Oh, okay."
Me and the wife went to see it on premiere night without the kids in 3D because, like, we said, like, we need everything we can possibly do to make this a fun experience. Me and her can go out and watch the worst movie in the world and have a blast doing it because we're together, getting to go out for a night. So we did that, and we had a great experience watching a bad movie.
Yeah, and I had a great time spending with my wife when we watched it at home on Disney Plus.
I had never watched it again.
No, yeah. Speaking on that though, like I didn't like the movie, obviously, but even that line in there, like I'm like you said, I felt the same way. But then, like to me, like what you were saying as well, like I don't think that line should even garnish any like flashback, to be honest. And that's not even like my bias is out the way. I'm a Democrat socialist. Like I will wear that like on my sleeve. Like I will say that to you like right now.
Wrong. Believe what you
want. But then
believe.
like no, exactly. So it's like whatever I say after, you know. But then like I don't even think that that should even like trigger any people. And if that triggers people, then like that lets you know the state of the fans itself. And like,
well, no, I don't think they're fans, but I don't think these are people who are fans. Sure, and that's what's so bad. That's what I'm saying. Like, it's not even fans that are ruining box office numbers. It's like this wave of this just weird online presence that is destroying theaters, people showing up, wanting to do anything because it's this weird hive mentality. Like, I don't, for one, like I said, these people that are crapping on these books, they're not reading these books. These people that are crying, I want my movie this way. Well, when they put one out, you'll never know because you're not going to go see it anyway.
Because it's not buzzworthy for you.
They'd rather just like feel vindicated in their anger, listening to other people say bad things. Like, yeah, that's why I don't watch it either. You weren't going to watch it.
Yeah, or you're going to hate watch it now. That's another thing too.
But in terms of them saying that in the movie, like no matter what you believe, if you believe you want to see Disney succeed, it should be fairly easy to know that that's a dumb idea to do on any level, not just that one line, but insert any hot topic line of any kind of political discourse into your movie.
I disagree with that, man.
In that time and space and in that environment, Disney's too volatile. Like you're watching them go like this, and they're about to have a complete, like they're facing a proxy war right now with an investment firm with Nelson Peltz and Ike Perlmutter that are superseding the board and going straight to the shareholders to take over seats to get Disney back into a proper financial position because they feel, and Bob Iger even admitted this, that their message has gotten too big and in the way of them making money.
That's what I was going to say too. Like going back to the laundering thing, man, I think all these companies are doing it. And I think like, let's peel back to like, you know, the whole like comic book stuff, you know, for a second, and talk about these companies at its core and like at an exception. I feel like a lot of these companies like, oh, okay, that's my wife's home. They at core, they do these things to launder money, and then they use like these hot topic things to like get rid of these people that were doing these corrupt things for them. Like that's just like how it is for me. So it's all part of the fucking game. Dude, it's all rest for people. So here you pushing this narrative for us, pushing this moolah for us, and then here's
when it becomes troublesome, we can let you go for it.
Yep, and then here's this thing that you did wrong. Oh, here's this topic, that hot topic that you done. We placate toward that behavior, and oh, here you go, get out of here.
Yeah, they begged for diversity and inclusion, and then 6 months ago fired their diversity and inclusion officer for using too much money.
Exactly. Even happened with like right now with the TKO and the Vince McMahon stuff. Like all that's like everyone knew who Vince McMahon was. He's a sexual predator. Like, there's how many more cases?
Every
do you need?
wrestler from the 80s is a sexual predator, and Curveball Vince was there in the 80s.
exactly, exactly right. But just now that since W has been taken over by like they're not the top, they're not the head of the table, right? TKO is. So now they're just getting rid of the old head of the table, which is Vince, and then now it's their structure. Like it's
I
just
wonder how
all
much.
uncertainty.
Now that you mentioned that, you know what I'm saying? Because like the Vince, the whole misallocation with funds has been out for a while, but they're pretending like, well, we were investigating that, but we really have this whole thing that we were really investigating. I bet TKO probably went to that woman and said, "All right, turn in the text. Now's the time. We
Yep,
need
yep.
we're
They,
here. We let Vince stay. Well, now
Yep.
it's time for Vince to go."
We let him stay through the requirement. He was there through the, because we're not going to buy it. We're not going to buy this hot topic thing when there's this allegation out there. Let's buy the asset. Let's take over. Now that we have it, we use it for. It's all like it's like a CIA. It's like all operatives.
Yeah,
That's what it is. And I think like all that bleeds into like these culture stuff people talk about. And it's just like, all right,
dude,
man.
it's absolutely in the
Mhm.
yeah. It's hard when you have so much information at your disposal, but it's impossible to trust any of it almost. You
Mhm.
can't read or take anything at face value. It's unfortunate. And that was one of the good things that came out of the purchase of Twitter by Elon. Again, I don't own a Tesla, I don't Twitter, I don't have any
I own
skin in
these
the game.
stocks.
Yeah, I don't own these stocks, but one of the great things that came out as a citizen of this country, no matter what you believe, right, left, and different, the fact that they proved that this giant tech corporation, insert name doesn't matter, was slanting and running a specific narrative, not allowing certain things to be said to a large degree and allowing other things. And that makes all of the users that are on there feel like they're right and justified in their beliefs, no matter how right or wrong they are, and unchallenged on them. Like
Mhm.
that's so dangerous. Now, I understand that's a private
Yeah.
company, and
Yeah, it's a private company. They make their own rules.
they make their own rules. But just thinking how scary that is, that something that large and influential, like that's crazy. But when
I
it
mean,
came to election,
mhm.
a private company, it doesn't matter who it is, you're not allowed to tamper with an election, and that's where it gets a little weird. And I don't know enough about
Or
the whole,
deny one either.
huh?
Or deny one either.
Yeah, I don't think it's illegal to challenge results, whether you sound stupid or you're justified for it. But
Oh, it is illegal if you're like trying to corroborate and take over. Yeah, that's legal for
I'm
sure.
not saying corroborate and take over. I said to question results.
No. But that's how it starts. That's the whole. I want to get leading to like when people just start like whenever said like I'm just asking questions here, right? Like there's no one asking questions, but like if you ask this question slanted in a certain way, placated towards a certain base, a certain audience, and then that becomes like the whole truth. It's like the whole like conspiracy thing. Like, oh,
Yeah,
something becomes true, and then people believe it.
yeah, but
So it's like,
I'm damn near a free speech absolutist. I'm definitely you're what you say is going to have consequences. I'm also
yeah,
a proponent of, I think people should be allowed to punch someone in the mouth for talking sideways.
yep, I agree.
I'm not above physical violence. I am above like attempted murder. Don't get me wrong, but I'm not above, like, I think people should be allowed to open hand slap each other. Like there should, like I think
No,
I
that's a
think we're
consequence,
missing.
right? Yeah,
Yeah,
no,
I think we're missing
I
that
agree.
in society. But
No,
yeah,
for sure.
I think with the open hand slap comes responsible speech. Not it's not, what do you call it? It's not censored speech. It's responsible speech. Let me think about what I say and how I say it before I say it, but I'm definitely going to say it. You know what I
But
mean?
like I agree, but that's like a small handful of people that do that,
Oh
right?
yeah,
Like
yeah.
back to like the Gina thing. Like she was trying to be spicy, she was trying
Mhm.
to garnish, this thing, but then like and like even like how I was like not saying I was like misinterpreting what you were saying, but then like I get what she was saying, like she was just, but like the spicy thing, the ultimate shitty spicy thing is her comparing this to her political belief that she was trying to do, because during that time frame, what was it? Oh, it's COVID lockdowns. Goddamn libs are trying to lock us down, trying to take over our country. Who was our president? Oh, they're trying to like not, do the results of this thing, question this. I'm just asking questions. Oh, they're trying to take it from us. The gracious, like it's all these buzzwords like that
Yeah.
placate, that move towards like these things people are
To me,
saying.
it looked
And
like
that
he
was one
was
of them.
making three distinct groups in that post. There's me and my beliefs, Republican, Gina.
Mm,
There's you and your beliefs, Democrat, other person, and then there's the government that's out to get all of us.
Yep.
That's the way it was. It was a triangle of things. There's two neighbors fighting, and then there's the government. That's what she had,
and her post like amplifies, like that's the thing. Like I get what she's trying to say and be spicy, but like her post fumes that spicy. She's trying to like say, oh, they're doing it. Oh, you're doing
attempting
it.
to go viral, I think, and it worked.
Yeah, exactly. And like that's what I'm saying. Like, I'm not against like people being fired for what they say, but like she's one to deserve it for sure, you know. And like that's the thing,
I honestly don't think she deserved to be fired. I don't think someone's job should be taken away from them because whether you're this rich person or you're this person now, like I think, like you said, everything should be on a case-by-case basis. If you're a kindergarten teacher and you're posting pictures, keg standing butt naked with people taking body shots off your snatch, and that's on a public forum, I don't think that that's appropriate for your profession, being that you're an educator of small children. I think that should be
if there's like intervention, like trying like, you know, oh, hey, we found this, let's do better next time, then like that's all fine. But like even her, she wasn't playing
into professions. Like now that you are a 5-star general for the military, we really hope and that you understand when we say to hold this position before you go in there, you have to agree to the job contract. Jobs come with contracts. That's a normal thing.
No, yeah,
like, but that's where any kind of legal discourse is going to come into play with this, which I think is interesting. Again, I don't give a shit about Gina. I just like to argue. The classic sense of the word argue, debate. And I don't mean formally. I just, you know me. I don't.
I know. I get you, man. I feel the same way, man.
I just like to talk, and I'm enjoying talking to you. It's been so long since we've been able to do this.
I know, man. I've been
Snyder.
Yeah, I haven't been on. That's why I saw you went live last week or 2 weeks ago. When I saw you went on, I gotta say hi, happy New Year, kind of thing. It's been a long time.
Yeah. People be busy. I don't hold it against you. I just send you a big prize winning every few months. That's all.
Hey, as finally my membership is getting some value out of it. Put it that way.
Yeah, we just gave away a Hulk 180 first appearance of Wolverine.
That'd been nice to win. Yeah.
In the CGC 8.0, you were in the giveaway. Don't.
No, I know. It'd be nice to like draw my name. That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah. But me and DJ did a little crossover giveaway so that we can put together our efforts to get a bigger prize to, like it's hard to do that on your own, but when you put your resources together,
allocate your funds you guys make and put together. Yeah, for sure. Like that's the thing I'm looking for. Those are my next book, 181. I got Giant Size X-Men like last year sometime, #1. So that was my big book last year.
I'll be honest with you. Right now is a great time to buy 180 if you're not a grade snob. Like everything's down right now, and even with the Deadpool movie coming, it's not really moving the needle. The book's still trending down over the last 2 months. It dropped about $200 in the last 2 months.
That's what I was thinking too. Like I need to get it. Like either the last show's gonna get it, or like I'll wait till after the movie comes out and then I'll probably buy one. Because it might see like a little small increase in price when it comes to June.
Yeah, well, I don't know, because you know what happened Sunday, right?
This past Sunday?
This coming Sunday is the first movie trailer.
Oh yes, yeah, the trailer, yeah.
So that's when if the movie's going to make this book move, that's when it's going to happen, is this Sunday. But it looks like that like even before this movie, which these are popular characters, but it looks like the movies just don't have the same effect. We're a little bit farther away from that time era of people needing to fall back on secondary income. You know what I'm saying? Like people were stuck at home having to find hobbies to make monies on and stuff. So the market's getting back to where it would have been
a more fair market value.
Yeah, a true market value kind of thing versus that little 3-year bubble. We're kind of leveling out, which is great for me. Like I love buying stuff.
Yeah, I'm a collector first. That hurt.
I got a Silver Age key, CDC key right here. I ain't even opened yet.
Oh, okay. Save for the video.
Well, what it is, I really don't care about that. But what it is I do this show called Guess That Key every other Wednesday with Sector 2815. Is a guy named Paul.
I've seen a couple episodes. Yeah, I stopped in.
Yeah. So I'm taking it on that show, and that show, unfortunately for me, isn't. The next episode is on the 14th, so I can't publicly show the book. I'm not even going to open it. So I'm trying to stump him. You know what I mean? It's
okay. Yeah. All right.
People know what kind of books I have. So
hush is the word. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. I'll put it in the private chat real quick. That ain't a problem.
Okay, that's cool.
Because I don't know who's going to catch this on the rerun or pop in or anything.
Yeah, I don't watch this thing.
I do.
Besides the best one.
Yeah, there's not very many of your streams I miss. I see I miss them once in a blue moon, but
Okay. Nice.
I enjoy talking to you. I've been ready to argue with you ever since the last time I argued with you when you were on an episode of Out Weeks and you're like, "Are we done talking about Snyder Cut yet?" Because WandaVision is what I want to talk about. Never forgot that. I'm like, yeah, man, let's get into it. It was good. It was good.
Oh yeah, well, the Snyder Cut.
No, WandaVision.
I know, but like we're talking about this. We're talking about done with Zack Snyder.
That was the last time you and I were on screen together.
You know,
was
but
the episode of
talking about
Out
Zack
Week
Snyder.
10 where our topics were Zack Snyder's Justice League that just released and WandaVision was running. Those were our
Well,
movie
good.
shows to talk about.
That was a choice then. Move the slate along. No one's talking about Zack Snyder, man.
Oh, I wish people would stop. I'm a Snyder fan and I want the Snyder bots to go away.
Yeah.
They give me a bad name.
The bot movement. If anything proved the bot movement was Rebel Moon. Like that was the nail in the case that most of his fans, for the most part, and I know like Snyder is big. Like I'm not trying to like shame his name at any point at all, but like I was never the biggest Snyder fan, man. And I think Wolverine was trash. And that's not me hating on Snyder. Like I loved his was it not the zombie movie? Not the old one. There's like a recent one with Dave Bautista.
Army of the Dead with Dave Bautista.
Yeah, that one was cool. But like even that movie was a ripoff from like
countless things.
Or not even that. It's like literally like a almost carbon copy of the I think it's Train to Busan number 2.
Which one?
Train to Busan. The second one.
Busan?
Yeah, it's like a zombie movie.
I haven't heard of
Korean. That. Oh, you haven't seen Train to Busan?
I hadn't even heard of that word said out loud.
Bro.
Busan.
If you love, Busan. I don't know how to pronounce it.
Send me a link or a picture of the title.
Oh yeah, for sure, man.
I don't think you know how bad I type. I can't even spell that.
No, me neither, man. Busan. Okay, yeah, I'll shut up right now. It's like a Korean zombie movie. Dude, it's really good. I really enjoyed it. If you like zombie movies, it's definitely one of those things you should probably check out. Hold on.
I got zombied out for a good hot while.
Oh yeah, for sure.
You gotta remember, like I was the store manager of a movie stop for years, and I don't know. I took a break from watching movies for a good solid year and just watched YouTube stuff. And I've been on a hot kick here lately, just catching up on stuff. And 2023 put me back into it. So many movies came out.
Mm-hmm. That's how I felt for a while too. Like I just checked out the movies and shows. My wife, we've been watching Apple TV, been binging a lot of stuff on there.
Yeah, I just got that here recently for the MonsterVerse show, which I loved.
Yeah, so I still need to watch that. Like it's number one. Like it's like okay, but like my wife doesn't want to watch it either, so it's like I had to sneak and watch it by myself, like a loner, kind of.
Let her know it's a good drama because it really is. Like the monsters make cameo appearances throughout it. Like it's a people story about like love lost and like siblings that find out that their dad had a family in America and in Japan that meet each other for the first time.
Okay. But like one show we really liked on there was For All Mankind. Like my wife, like we love that show.
You watched Ted Lasso?
Say that one more time.
You watched Ted Lasso?
Oh yeah, that was good.
God, dude.
You love some Ted Lasso, man.
God, I love that.
Even after we finished the last episode, and we're thinking like, okay, if it comes back, listen, what would it be like? Okay, he gets his family all fixed. He comes back and then they win the championship. Like that would be perfect. I would love that, as season 4.
Yeah, but how would they with it being so for being a comedy, it's so grounded, like the whole dynamic of him and his wife and him having to let her go. Like she just genuinely had moved on, had been moved on for a long time.
Spark,
how would you even justify trying that would just be fan service. It would just feel out of place. Like I would like for him to find somebody, but I don't think it would be right for it to be his wife.
I don't know, man. I don't know, because that's what he wants, though. He did a selfless act when leaving his wife, because he was fighting for her. That's what he wanted. Time away for some cures all, but I think even the Ted Lasso character, I think he wants his family back, and for the most part. And so it is fan service, but
for him to get her back, I mean, you could find a way to write it. I think it would be just as justified for him to find happiness after as well. You know what I mean? That happens for people just as often.
Yeah, for sure.
But how awesome is Hannah Waddington?
Who's that? I don't know the name.
Rebecca. She owns the team.
Oh yeah, she's awesome, man. a nice, fine looking wine.
You want to know what my favorite line of that entire show from season 1 through 3 is when that the guy from Africa is coming in to poach
Shot the new league.
players from all of them
Yeah.
and wants to buy the different teams or whatever.
Sorry,
And they're all
African League. Yeah.
Yeah, all the owners are sitting at the table ready to sign everything over, and she rebels against them, and she makes the statement like, "You guys may own these teams,
How much more? Yeah.
but they don't belong to you."
Mhm.
I'm like, that's it. That's my feelings toward a lot of my properties that I've grown up with and stuff. That's how I feel when they are what I feel is mishandled. When these characters aren't, and again, there's gray area to this, right? And it's a lot of opinion to it, but when I feel these characters are not respected, when they do things like how people felt when they aged up John Kent, how people were so offended by that. Like, I like that. Like, I don't think the Super Sons work with those two characters the same age, but whatever. But that's how I feel about like these creators that work on these movies for these Star Wars or Marvel or DC or the comics for this stuff. Like, you don't own these characters. You're just a steward of them. You are working on them. They were here long before you. They will be here long after you. And if you don't take care of them, no one will remember you were here.
Yeah. Or if you amplify, people will remember your name.
No, you will go down as a fucking legend and you will never die.
You'd be a demigod. Yeah. No, yeah, I agree. Like that's the thing too. I agree with that to a certain extent, but like I don't like try to get like too like emotional from it, like to be honest,
so emotional when it comes to comics. I was just raised around them though.
I wasn't raised like I found comics on my own kind of deal, but then like not even trying to use like the DCEU as an aspect, but like when that was going down, it was pretty bad, and how it was just going down the shitter. It was especially when Marvel was rising too. It's like, oh, we can eat good from both sides of the plate. We can have our cake and eat it too, or whatever the fucking saying is, right? But it just how it went. But I think that like actually like just like helped me develop with the emotional part, because like, you know what, it'd be cool to see these characters come to life, done well. And they did have spots, like Cavill still, Man of Steel is one of my favorite superheroes of all time. Like there's bright spots in there, but like how that thing fell apart, how it went downhill, how it's is now trying to restart with James Gunn. Like even then, okay, it's like you said they belongs to us, and I agree with that, but like I don't try to get emotional with something I don't own.
No, I didn't say it belongs to us. The saying is very apt. Like they may own these characters, but they don't belong to you. They don't belong to anybody.
Who belong to then?
That's why I said they don't belong to anyone. They have an owner, but they should just have stewards over them. It's your job as an owner to take care of them, and that is it. Like it's definitely like there's definitely no like hard line like white and black logic to that. It's definitely a thought process on intellectual IPs. You know what I mean? Like, and even who owns them, like public domain proves that's even limited.
Yeah, Batman's coming up next year or next decade.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't care. Oh, well, you're just being a da 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 da. You act like you own these characters, motherfucker. When it comes down to it, the law says nobody does that. They're being rented.
Yep. You rent them for a period of time to maximize profits, and then when that time is gone, it's there.
Yeah, what the public domain was based off of is if this guy creates it wasn't even looked at as like corporate ownership. It was looked at as intellectual.
It's
It's meant for you to be able to live your life based off this work, and for your immediate leave behinds to still be able to carry and build off of. Then you're done. You're done.
Yeah. Once these characters like get bought, that's when the rules change for them. Blah 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 blah. And yeah, I agree. And what's her name was saying, like, you might not own, and that's a great scene. They're throwing the fucking food on the table. They're laughing. She's laughing a good laugh with her ex-husband. It's a great scene, And
then he tries to switch like, ew.
Yeah. yes. That asshole.
He was.
But like, like even then, like I was trying to say, like the DC thing, like I just don't try to be like that emotional from it when something's not good. It's like, okay, it's not up to my par or whatever, and everyone's par is different. If you're part of a mind that we're talking about earlier, then you're going to share that, that whatever. But for me, if it's not up to par for me, it's just all right. It's another Tuesday. You know what I'm saying? On to the next one. Just because like
You know,
if I don't own something, I have no control over it. Like that's what part I got to. It's like, okay,
that's
it'd be
super fair, and
nice
I
to
think,
be
like,
so
for
good.
me, I'm definitely more open with kind of, sharing my disdain or my excitement for something because as much as I might complain about a few things, the things that I'm into, I hype up 10 times harder than I've complained about anything.
Mhm.
Like, I've been ride or dying for Ghost Machine coming out with that whole
Is
initiative,
that
like,
Image or
yeah, it's under Image. This
okay?
is Image 2.0. Jeff Johns secretly recruited the best of the best across the board and signed him exclusive. So they did Geiger and Junkyard Joe with Jeff Johns and Gary Frank. Then at NYCC, he announced that they've got Jason Fabok exclusive, Brian Hitch exclusive, Peter J. Tomasi exclusive, and more. Brad Anderson. And then he said, we have more names, but we're not allowed to announce them until they fulfill their contracts with where they are at. Added Ivan Reese to the pool list, who's been drawing Superman like for Brian Michael Bendis for years, amongst other things. Like just keeps getting bigger and bigger, and they're all going exclusive. And then so they have an entire universe under the Geiger stuff that's connected,
Mhm.
but they also have a horror imprint that stands on its own. They also have a family oddities imprint that stands on its own as like all reader friendly kind of thing. And
So they're just doing, like you said, Image 2.0. They're just like gathering Jim Lee, today,
of their era, yeah.
the McFarlanes, the Liefelds, and they're just doing that right now.
They
Okay.
jumped ship and went, and what it is Ghost Machine is its own company owned by all of them, creating characters by just like Image. We own the company together. We create our stuff together. We're just printing it through Image. Like tomorrow they can announce, oh, we'll
Oh,
release it
okay.
through Dark Horse. You know what I
So
mean? Like,
Ghost Machine is the actual company,
yeah,
and
yeah.
then
So
they're
the
just
way
like,
that Image works is it's not like Marvel or DC. Image can put out books proper. You can sell your book to Image and put it out,
yeah,
or you
creator
can
base,
do like Robert Kirkman does. Any of his books, it says Image, but right under it says Skybound.
Mhm.
Image is only publishing them. Skybound is Marvel or DC. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like they're just
yeah,
the
yeah.
printers at that point.
Distributor, yeah, sure.
Mhm.
Okay, for sure. All right, just making sure I didn't
Yeah, so
conflate
if
that.
they
Oh,
make
that's
enough
cool.
money, they can go buy their own printer and skip the middleman, and it'll just move that Ghost Machine header into the place where Image was, and nothing changed.
Mhm. Gotcha. All right. Well, that's cool. I gotta root for that kind of stuff, People
Dude,
going out on a
it
limb.
is so goddamn good because you know Jeff Johns has been a legend. He's on the Mount Rushmore. Like he'll be forever solidified in comic history for his tenure at DC with Green
Mhm.
Lantern, the mega events, the JSA, all kinds of stuff. And it's because he's so good at retconning and drawing these connections from 80 years worth of history and building out universes that are 80 years old. Now he's doing that from the ground floor 100% on his own mind. Like he's not beholden to nothing. He just gets to create. And just off the first two little 6-issue miniseries, you read Geiger, right? And he gets into a fight with this robot called Junkyard Joe at the end that you'd never seen before until that. And then he beats the robot. It falls down. As it's powering down, it has its life flash before its eyes and it shows you something. And you're like, what was that? Because you're like, I don't know, keep on reading. Fast forward a year, you're finishing Junkyard Joe that takes place in modern times where Geiger's like in 2040. You see what that was. And you don't even remember Geiger. But if you go back and reread Geiger, you're like, oh my God, this robot was sentient. It's not a robot. It's a robot, but it was
Okay.
sentient. And its owner, the only person it ever loved, just flashed before its eyes as it died. And it just changes it. Like Jeff John, like the callbacks are already there. It just makes you wonder how deep the cuts are going to go.
That's the thing. I love world building, man. Like that from infancy, world building, it's like that's like the best part of it, And then like when I say retconning, that's like I love retcons because like always trace it back and like, okay,
Mhm.
this was that, this straight line through here. So yeah,
Well,
okay,
that's
I'll
what's
check it
pretty
out.
cool and unique about the Geiger stuff. It's called the Unnamed Universe. The whole concept is an unknown war has been waging for hundreds of years, and they show you a timeline, right? And Geiger's in 2040, Junkyard Joe is in 2023, Red Coat is in 1776, the first Ghost is in 1865, and they're like throughout the years, these unknown heroes have popped up to X, Y, and Z, and you don't know why or how they're connected. We're learning as we go. We've only had 2 6-issue miniseries, but to
Mhm.
know that the world, like that's the timeline, and we haven't even done anything yet on it. Just to know, like this is all going to unfold and have to connect in all
Yeah, this
these
is just a
different
ground
ways.
level. Yeah,
Yes,
this is a ball just rolling. Okay,
yeah,
all
nothing
right,
like this has been done before.
awesome. Because even when like when like Image first started, it was still like on the crust of like a crux of like the Marvel DC stuff still. Like the Young Bloods was kind of like the mutants in a
X-Men.
way. Yeah,
Yeah,
X-Men in a
Cyber
way.
Force was like the X-Men, Youngbloods was like the
Mhm,
X-Men, like everything was like the X-Men other than Spawn, which was like symbiote Spider-Man.
mhm,
No
and even
change.
yeah, exactly. And then what's the green guy? Like the monster looking guy. I can't remember his name.
Savage Dragon?
Savage Dragon. There you go. Yeah, like he was even like established before too in a way, in like some type of way. And so
Yeah, and Megatron, and he
yeah,
was in
yeah,
a one-shot issue of something else. He was brought over from the Megatron series.
yeah.
That's what Eric
Okay.
Larson wanted to do.
All right. Yeah. So that's cool. Everything's from the ground up. This is done, from ground zero now. All right, that's kind of cool. I have the tab open here so I can look at that later.
So
Yeah.
so all it was it's a 6-issue miniseries. They did an 80-page giant one-shot that just showed you more about the Geiger world.
mhm,
And then it gave you a little mini story of Redcoat. The first time you see that character, who's an immortal from 1776. Brian Hitch and Jeff Johns were having a conversation, and one of them said, like just in passing, "My wife says I'll never learn." He goes, "Well, if you lived long enough, maybe you would." And a light bulb went off.
they've got
What if
like,
what if we made an immortal from 1776 who's just a bastard? He's good at what he does, but he's just
from
he's just
Inception of America.
he's just a sack of shit. And like we get to
Mhm,
watch him go through the ages, never just being who he is. His name is Simon Pure, and they're going to do some fun stuff. Like he has an encounter with this group of revolutionaries called the Founding Fathers, and from an event on the battlefield that day, he became immortal. And since then, the only other person that was left immortal was none other than Benedict Arnold. And like all we have is concept for it in a couple of pages. So he walks around still with his red coat from back in the day, but with like proper weapons and stuff. And they're going to be telling
mhm.
stories with him between now and then. Like he meets Einstein as a kid. They get to play with alt history and stuff, and it's going to be
Okay.
dope.
It just was it October? It said it was created and stuff.
So the 80-page giant came out. Then the Junkyard Joe miniseries, just 6 issues came out. And then they did a 2-issue book called Geiger Ground Zero, kind of just reintroducing people to Geiger, kind of just touching base with
Mhm,
Geiger because they're getting ready to roll out Ghost Machine issue 1, which was a sampler book, 64-page
okay.
book at $3.99, introducing all the characters up until now that they're able to introduce. And it kind of gives you about 4 to 6 pages of multiple stories and character bios and world bios to those books. And then in April, Geiger #1, the ongoing, comes out. Rook Exodus, which is Jason Fabok, 3 Joker artists, like
Yeah,
that.
yeah,
That
yeah. Mhm.
independent world book comes out, and then Red Coat ongoing comes out with Brian
Oh,
Hitch.
all right. All right, so this is cool. I'll check this out, man. And it's super new. I didn't realize it was like what was this basically last year. And I think
Yeah.
the original, like I think I have like was like the first issue, like the regular Geiger or whatever it was,
That
the
came
older
out a
one.
few years ago. Ghost
Yeah,
came out like how Skybound is Kirkman's imprint at Image.
yeah.
It was
Mhm.
called Mad Ghost, was Jeff Johns' imprint. But at NYCC this past year, they made the announcement that they're changing the name to Ghost Machine, and they just
Okay.
leveled up and brought in all these creators. Like it's not just him and
Mhm.
Gary Frank anymore.
Yeah, yeah,
We're
yeah,
an
yeah.
entire company.
Okay.
Probably the best put together video I ever did on my channel was all of that. I actually edited it, had footage cut into it and everything, explaining what Ghost Machine was and what's come out and what's coming, kind of thing.
So we said in April, that's when the official #1 comes out.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. I'll
That's
make
in the
sure.
ongoing series. So Geiger will be picking up where it left off. Rook will be starting at issue #1, the first issue. And what was the other one? Geiger, Rook, and Redcoat will be starting with issue #1, the first issue, period.
Okay. All right.
Definitely some good stuff to look forward to.
Oh yeah, for sure. I'm looking forward to the have you read the Ultimate not Spider-Man and the Ultimate Avengers?
The old
Or
Ultimate
the
Avengers?
no, I'm sorry, the Ultimate Invasion. I'm sorry, not Ultimate,
I
Ultimate
didn't
Invasion.
read Ultimate Invasion, but I picked up Ultimate Spider-Man.
Okay.
That's
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 the
the
only book
that's the
recently I've been
ratio
reading.
variant going in the Legion loot.
Oh. That's like the only like newer, like more like serialized book that's coming out recently that I've like actually picked up or actually read. Because I actually like read the DCIS one, the second event. It's like the Elseworld storyline where it is. that was pretty cool. Actually, I actually like that one.
You said Deceased?
Yeah, Deceased #2, or the second event of Deceased. Yeah,
Yeah. It was Deceased and
so
Deceased.
it came out last year. Well, it
They
came out
had
last year.
Hope at World's End, which was a digital only one. Then something with them. God, what was the second volume called of Deceased? Then there was the third volume, which was the finale, which was War of the Undead Gods, which was insane.
Is that the one where like Superman comes back with the virus in it? Spectre.
Yeah,
okay.
The Spectre was in the finale. Was Spectre in the one you read?
I don't think so.
Okay, well, I'm not going to say more than that, but dude, I literally cried.
Okay, yeah. So I was starting to read it. I was like, oh, this is fucking awesome, man. I keep reading this thing.
Yeah, you got to read them in order.
Okay.
They did a digital exclusive kind of book called Hope at World's End, which takes place during the events of the first one. So you have Deceased, and you have this little 3-issue miniseries called Deceased Unkillables, following some of the villains during the events of the first one.
Uh-huh.
And God, what was the second volume called? That one was really good. That's where Constantine was going, taking out all the magic users to take all of their items and stuff and level up himself to try to stop everything.
Because I remember like reading like when it first started, like when like the whole dark side thing and like the anti-life thing, the
anti-life
virus. Yeah. And yeah, I still remember like the order and stuff. Yeah, that's why I remember.
Dead Planet. That was the second volume. Dead Planet.
That's okay. I'll make sure I get that one too.
Yeah, they leave Earth at the end of the first one. Like they can't save it. They leave Earth and go to what's called Earth 2, which is just a second inhabitable planet.
And that's where like, the gods are like infected too, right?
That's the last volume. Like the new gods get infected at the end of the book, and then they show up in the last one.
Okay.
That was your cliffhanger, was the new gods getting infected.
Okay, yeah. And then that's when Supergirl, right? She like comes
hard.
Yeah.
The right hand of Darkseid, who's sitting there infected with like a yellow lantern ring on and stuff. Like it gets crazy.
Oh yeah, because what's his name? Not Sinestro?
Yeah. He tried him up, he failed.
And
then Alfred. God, Alfred's arc from the first issue of the first volume, having to kill
his boy, right?
Yeah, not just one of them either, to seeing how his story ends in the final volume. I literally teared up and cried, because I'm a fan of a certain character associated with his arc conclusion.
Okay, yeah. All right, I finished it then, because I remember some parts. I don't think I finished it all the way. That's why.
Oh, you would remember this. It's like it doesn't matter how familiar you are with what happens to Alfred. You'll never forget it. It was so good.
All right, Alfred's the hero, huh?
Yeah, he was tired of seeing his family harmed. I just want to say it so bad, but I don't want to ruin that moment in the book for you.
I remember, like, I just don't remember how it ended, so I don't think I finished it away.
Did you see Damian going fist up against Orion, an infected new god, and just getting pummeled? Like at the last stronghold of where they were, how like the infected Hawkmen showed up with the infected new gods, and Damian went out, the finale, the War of the Undead Gods, with Darkseid with the ring and everything in that volume.
No, I don't think I remember that. Yeah, read that part.
Yeah, you might not have got all the way through then. You got
all the way through.
Yeah, Damian don't back down from nobody.
Hey, he might. Yeah, he's the best. Besides Dick, yeah, it's him and Damian. Best Robins.
Yeah,
for sure.
Damian, the old, like when we get to see older Damian in these stories, like with a bat suit on, like what he's like now that he's not like a bastard, but he's still got it in him, kind of thing. You know, you still got that brat child in there somewhere. It's awesome.
Yeah, that's what I'm looking forward to, the James Gunn stuff, man.
Yeah, Brave and the Bold. We're getting an era with Damian.
Yeah. So like, there we go. Show me some feisty kid magic, man. Like that's why I love that, like the Teen Titans, because like they're like those feisty kids, just trying to make a name for themselves or just prove themselves in what way. So, and then yeah, I'm looking forward to James Gunn stuff in general for DC. Hopefully it's good.
Yeah. Well, I've been right on here for a while. It's about that time for me to start getting the kids tightened up. It's about that bedtime. They got school tomorrow.
Yeah, man. But thanks for hopping on. Appreciate
Absolutely.
Nice
I mean, you're on here.
Yeah, we're like, it's been 3 hours. I
love catching up with you. It's fun talking to people that get to healthily debate with.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I love doing it. I don't care if I even believe what I'm saying. If I can disagree with someone and have a healthy back and forth, It's fun.
Dude, that's why I love, like, I mean, I say I love, but I do find entertaining aspects of certain people, like, Alex Jones, whatever. Because, like, end of the day, he believes what he believes, and he just puts it off how he wants to. Doesn't care if he's right. Doesn't care if he's this type of way. Or
Yeah, I
even,
think
like,
there's a thing that like that's scary about that guy too, because like apparently his dad was like intelligence, and
he's an
just
off for sure, man.
well, you know how like I grew up around comics. Like my dad's been collecting since the 60s. So like you see how there's comics in this room now and there's toys. Like I've never been in a household a day in my life that wasn't like this.
Mhm.
Since before I was born. Like that's just been around him. So like me just going off on comics to someone who's getting introduced to him, it makes no sense, right? So I think that there's an aspect of Alex Jones, like let's just assume like an honest pretender out of him, okay? Let's not assume like just assuming he is who he claims he is. If he's just steeped in this shit to the level he is, like calling people vampires and da 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 da, like I don't think for 1 second when he says that he means like a Dracula vampire. Like he has a different usage of that word than I do, because I know he doesn't mean that this person like is allergic to garlic. You know what I mean? But
No,
he assumes that
they're sapping your soul to their brain antenna. That's what they're doing.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? But he assumes that people that he's talking to are on the same level of understanding and wavelength he is, and he talks past so many people. And what even made me stop to think about that is when years ago he made a comment about water turning frogs gay.
Oh yeah.
Unfortunately, that's been actually scientifically proven what he was saying, but he's so terrible at conveying information that if he, like, how could anybody, like, he doesn't offer any resources. He doesn't say, let me tell you why I know this. You just have to wait years when some kind of scientific thing completely unassociated with him come out with a paper saying, hey, we just noticed that these chemicals that we've been using in this are actually physically altering wildlife and making them change genders and not able to reproduce. And we have to pull this off the market because we're destroying an ecosystem. And you're like, yo, why didn't he just say that? Why does he have to just say they're turning the frog gay? Like, you sound crazy, bro. You sound crazy. How can you expect anyone to believe you if you're telling the truth?
Well, that's the thing too. Like that kind of stuff, like I will like love to listen to like all day. But then there's just like there's everything, you don't believe everything anyone says, just pick and choose. So.
Yeah, that dude's super. You know what really got me is like I love watching the Graham Hancock, Randall Carlson, like Younger Dryas era meteor impact hypothesis that the end of the ice age, like erasing civilization stuff. And Joe Rogan has numerous podcasts with them on for years, like showing like the Scablands in the Northwest and showing the Finger Lakes and all that. And going through all that was about the time he had Eddie Bravo, who's a moon landing denier and a flat earther, and Alex Jones on a 4-hour podcast. And this was after Joe and Alex apparently had a falling out. So they were kind of like becoming friends again and just having Alex back on after years, right? And one thing that Joe pointed out, he pointed that fact out to Alex about like, yo, you just say so much so fast, no one can keep up. How are we supposed to take what you're saying serious? So he made sure that Jamie would fact check him along the way, and he stopped Alex, interrupted him countless times, said, stop. What are you talking about? We need to see. And they went for 4 hours, fact checked him on his craziness the entire time. And the man,
I seen an episode,
the man told no lie.
Because like he was talking about like even like the car company, was it the insurance company? I remember that episode.
Car company, post-birth abortions, like everything. And the Alex Jones in 4 hours told no lie, being stopped and fact checked. They were intentionally trying to check him on everything he said. And I'm like, yo, this is legitimate scary. I don't trust the media anymore. Like that was one of the big things. Like that was it. I don't trust Alex either. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah. And I was like, those like the things, those truths there. Like I enjoy those truths. Like that's why I will like, okay, tell me more of those kind of things. But like, there's a kid in front of you, like even stuff he said about kids. You know what I'm saying? Like those. That's a mark. Even him, like we talked about earlier, like the backing the whole like January 6th thing and like what that was and like what that was trying to entail to, and like even his debate with Destiny recently was like. Okay, like, this is just
Destiny's super smart too. I like Destiny a lot. He's pretty like okay. I'm not saying I agree with everything, but the dude is a great conversationalist. He's like a liberal Ben Shapiro. I like how he talks fast. He's got his strong points. He has his reasons to back him up. you're gonna have to be pretty like you're gonna have good challenge. You can't just say nah to that guy. You know?
No, for sure. Like once, like back to the younger draft with the Graham Hancock. Like I've seen that as well. I like dove deep in that one. I not dove deep, but like I kind of like just like peeked more. And okay, is this all it is? Or like, it's like a counter to this, And there's this guy named Minute something. He kind of like goes through like even like the whole like Netflix documentary that Graham Hancock does, And so like I don't want to like say what he says, I want to like push it on but like I would say check his videos out. They're a long one. I'm looking up his name right now. But like it kind of like it's like an opposite voice to like the Graham Hancock theory, the Jenga Dryas with the Atlanteans and like the.
Well, you saw where Michael. Well, you got to keep in mind, Graham's not the scientist. He's just bringing a bunch of scientific data and trying to find a narrative.
No, he's like was he a paleontologist, wherever he is, or
no, he's not. He's nothing. Graham Hancock is nothing more than a journalist and a writer.
Okay, yeah, wait, he's something, but I'm not trying to like push a narrative, but like I know who he is. But like I can't remember like he's like something with he's someone in a scholastic area that uses funding to like pushes a narrative. Like, and no,
Graham Hancock has zero scholastic education. Like I'm not like he's not a paleontologist, geologist, astrologist. He's none of those things. Randall Carlson, who he had on there with him, is an actual geologist who spent over 30 years.
Like the bigger guy, right?
Yeah, firsthand in the field, on
right.
site, like actually pulling data and stuff. And he has a he has a great YouTube channel where he's always like gathering more data. But he had another geologist that challenged his narrative on one of the. He's been on numerous episodes with Rogan, like bringing.
More data. And I watch those all the time. Like whenever.
Yeah, the one with Michael Shermer, they had another guy that actually didn't agree with Randall. They were able to go back and forth, and the guy was being a jerk despite. Randall wanting to know the genuine information he had to try to add to Randall's own data. He's like, well, that doesn't explain this. And the guy couldn't answer anything Randall brought up. And Randall just kept asking for more data. Randall's like an honest person, but Graham is trying to sell books. And he definitely believed with the data in front of him that like, I'm not saying this is all the data. He's not aware of all the data. He's found data that he likes. It's entertaining. It's fun. And he sees a narrative. So he talks about it. And like,
yeah, for sure. There it is. A Minute Man. That's like it kind of.
Oh, dude, I hate that kid. Like that long-haired kid.
Yeah, the little like a soy boy looking guy.
Yeah, like dude, that kid is the literal perfect example of exactly who Graham and Randall both talk against. All he does, like that kid doesn't like. All right, first off, I watch his channel. I enjoy his content. I like a lot of his stuff. But when he actually went to talk against Graham Hancock stuff, he brought nothing, but all he did was repeat the words that they are refuting. Graham and Randall take those words, like what that little kid said, that long-haired kid, everything he said is where Graham and Randall started and debunked it. So all he's doing is repeating debunked information to Graham and Randall. Like you're reading, anybody can go to a used bookstore and grab the textbook that says that. We're looking for why it says that, not that it says that. You can't give us the why behind your narrative when Graham and Randall, like not Graham, that's not even fair to include him, where Randall's research proves otherwise. We have to make sense of what Randall's research has, because what that kid, the Minutemen, what he's repeating does not fit the evidence. He's reading old school narrative. That's why I wasn't happy with his refutal of that show. I'm like, I was expecting you to bring some kind of like, cool, you went to Göbekli Tepe. So did all these other guys, and their evidence that they have refutes what you're reading from a Wikipedia to us. We've debunked the Wikipedia. That's why we have them on this podcast with Joe Rogan. This is debunked. It's kind of like saying America's only goes back to the people crossing the Bering Sea Bridge during the Ice Age. That's debunked. You can't say, well, no, there weren't people here 20,000 years ago because people didn't get here till 10,000 years ago over the ice bridge. That's what Minutemen did. Well, you can't say that. We've just debunked it. We've already debunked it. You're going back to the original point that was debunked. That's all he did. I'm like, come on, man.
I mean, I get that point. Like, I agree with like the whole like pushing back, and if you're just spouting nonsense online. But then even that too, like, I'm not saying what's like what like Wikipedia. I'm not saying like what he said on Wikipedia is true. Like an example of Wikipedia itself. So like if someone puts something on Wikipedia, it's like a public forum. You can go on Wikipedia and add to it.
That was just a colloquial definition.
No, I know. I'm using that example too. But then like that's like a reflective, like all like narrative or whatever it is, or all history, or put in history here, and this is what that means too. So like, yes, I agree. Like like don't like regurgitate stuff you see online, but like even the stuff that Graham Hancock says, and even with the whole like African stuff, like with the whole Egyptian stuff, I don't want to get into that, but like even like that's all like revision history too. So it's like, yes, I'm interested on what you're saying and how this all applies too. But just because you say something's like just because you said like the mainstream narrative, this was this, here's my proof, now it's not. Okay, I'm up for that challenge. I'm up for that thought process. Like, let's go from the ground zero and let me tell your story. I love ground building. I love story building. So it's like
historically, out like where it stands and like what their point is we don't have the history book story to tell you. All we can prove to you is your book is fallacious. Like,
but he also says that too.
What we came up and we were taught with was, here's what it is. That's not how it should be taught, because it's been proven countless times, especially like in the past 10 years, that it's wrong. And not because what they have is wrong, but because we can prove 1,000 things older than it that proves that's not the narrative. It doesn't mean throw the baby out with the bathwater. It means say we don't know, and we don't know because we know this place exists and we don't know what it is. And
but they also state that, and they also like prove a theory as well. So like I agree with that point too, but he also pushes a theory. That's what his book is about too. Even his show is about. What happened here? Okay, yeah, even like his show, that's what his story show's about too. Like he agreed, like he says, okay, the bare minimum that we've been taught is in question, right? So let's question that, and I'm for that, right? But then like he then says this, we can't trust the science or science that proves this, and this back here, the centuries ago, 1,000, whatever it is, right? But then at the end, he pushes like, okay, so what we know this here, here's what might happen, because he even pushed like the whole Atlantis thing, and like this, even like the Graham Hancock guy, he's been pushing the Atlantis thing for a long time, and he just goes to like, I'm not saying was it?
Yeah, he plays the Charlie with the twine board, the red twine behind him, and the cigarette when it comes to Atlantis. He's like, we have this date with this, and this date with that, and this with that. It's pointing toward Atlantis, and then he does the question. Is that what it means?
Yeah. No, yeah. The accent was funny too.
Implies it all the way, and then instead of saying that's what it is.
Yeah, exactly.
But that's
so
honestly, that's how you're supposed to. Like, look at where all this evidence leads. I can't say that it is.
No, it is science though. Like, here's a theory. But like that's like, and even like with, I don't want to get into like Joe Rogan stuff. I enjoy Joe Rogan episodes depending on the guest.
It depends on who the guest is. The guest makes the show.
Exactly, right. And so like if Graham Hancock's on there, then Carlson, even Dan Carlin, the podcast dude. Even his comedian friend sometimes, I can't think of his name, or even if Alex Jones goes on there, I'll watch that one again, so like
guaranteed to be entertaining.
Exactly. And I'm gonna be entertained, man. And so like, but it's always like placated as, okay, you challenge this mainstream media or idea, and then you push back and you present your own theory, and that's fine and dandy, but like that's what they do, that's what he does. And so that's what I was trying to say. And if you watch the Minuteman, dude, like I think that's some decent points, I
like I think he's good at conveying. He's good at conveying just the standard textbook definition of things. Like he's just reading from his college book, man. And I wouldn't expect him to do otherwise because of how old he is and where he's at.
Yeah.
I think he's blessed for having the access to the historical stuff he does. But there's nothing revolutionary. There's nothing challenging. He's just conveying college textbook information to us, which I appreciate, which I love. But for him to have the audacity and the cockiness, which he does, which is part of his character, he does put on a great
Hancock too. He's cocky, but he just cunning.
I'm not doing the what about it thing. I'm saying like this kid with his limited time in the field due to his age alone, for him to go in so cocky just to recite a textbook as a that caught me off guard, having followed him before he did that. I'm like,
this because also it's cool. Like when he goes to like the different like sites with like the stones and everything.
I loved him going to Göbekli Tepe. I love that site.
Yeah, that was cool. Even going to the pyramids yet? Like I like his stuff, for the most part. And then like you talked about the whole Graham Hancock, and like I know someone with that I liked recently. So I was all trying to say, man, it's like,
let me go get him a bath though.
Oh yeah, all right, man. See you, big guy.
Bye.
All right,
have a good night, bro. I'll see you later.
Take care, man. Good talking.
Get back to games.
Wait.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
There we go.
I'll probably get off now. Peace.
All right, bro. You have a good night.
That means what
too, man.
up, dude?
What up, dude?
What up,
That
dude?
was so fun.